Yep, Charlamagne the God.
Andrew Schultz.
We are the Brilliant Idiots, and today's show is sponsored by Talkspace, okay? The online therapy company. For as little as $32 a week, you can work with an experienced and licensed therapist handpicked just for you. With Talkspace, you can send text, audio, and video messages to your therapist, talk about your life, work through what's keeping you up at night, or just work on feeling a bit happier.
I'm not gonna lie, $32 a week is a bargain, though. My therapist costs $220 for 45 minutes.
This is what I'm gonna do, Talkspace. I'm gonna call you under an anonymous name. And I'm gonna see what kind of advice you're giving.
How are they gonna give you good advice if it's anonymous?
I'm gonna say my name's like
Catholic
Mike.
Church.
I'm gonna say like my name's Mike. I'm suffering from anxiety. It's causing erectile dysfunction. It's not true, but the anxiety part is.
Speak on it, bro. Hey, speak on it, bro. I think we get into the core source of the issue right here. Speak on it, bro. What happened on vacation? The dick didn't pop?
Oh no, it's popping too much. I hope I got me another kid. I'm scared of that damn Zika virus. I hope I don't. Like my wife's period came on this week. I'm like, good. I forgot we was over in Angola, and the mosquitoes from the Caribbean. You never know.
Oh, forget it, bro. Forget it, bro. But that baby come out nice and easy with the little head.
I don't know if I could love a baby with a Zika head. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll be totally. I thought about that. I literally did think about that. That was one of the stupid anxiety issues I was having.
Yeah.
Like,
could I love a baby with Zika?
Could I love a baby with Zika? And the answer is no.
You always get them the child size new eras. You know what I mean? Like, you never got to get them the adult size. Snap what? Snap nothing, bro. Shit is
you know, you open up the snapback, it says one size fits most. That's you got a Zika head, you're outside of the most, all right? Now, to sign up and learn more, go to Talkspace.com/idiots, and to show your support for this podcast, use code IDIOTS to get $30 off your first month. That's code IDIOTS, IDIOTS, and Talkspace.com/idiots. If this is indeed the case where they're an online therapy company and they're not paying for the brick and mortar and people can call in and get therapy for the low, I'm all for that. I have no problem.
That's the best situation, in my personal opinion. I think it's crucial. I mean, you know me. I've been invested in therapy my whole life. Both my parents have gone to therapy. Greg goes to therapy. This is something we're all part of. So I think it's a great thing. I think people need to get stuff out of their head, man.
I'm not mad at that at all. We got our guests downstairs.
Thing. Yeah.
Let's talk about some things for our guests.
Man, we got so many things to talk about this week. First of all, that Conor McGregor, Floyd.
Oh, we got another pre-roll.
Oh shit, we out here making money. Let's go.
You put the pressure on Chris's ass.
Let's go.
Okay, and he's getting us this money.
Today's podcast is also brought to you by Bevel. Bevel is the first and only shaving system designed for people with coarse, curly hair and sensitive skin. You can get clear, smoother skin in as little as 4 weeks when you start shaving with your Bevel razor. Go to getbevel.com/idiots to get $30 off a 90-day supply of Bevel shaving system. That's GETBEVEL.com/idiots to get $30 off a 90-day supply of the Bevel shaving system. All right, let's talk about it. Mayweather-McGregor, the most exciting press conference, I'm not going to say in sports history.
Come on. We grew up on Mike Tyson. Stop it.
It's more exciting.
No way.
More exciting.
Mike Tyson, one of the most hardcore men ever. Like, the epitome of a man. If you're talking about, like, just brawn and...
You're definitely not talking about voice.
No, just brawn. Like, you know, when you think superheroes back in the day, you think Mike Tyson...
Well, they can say it. You just like him because he got lisp.
Mike Tyson,
you relate to that motherfucker.
Mike Tyson is so hard that he told a man, I want to fuck you in your ass till you love me.
So you like it.
And nobody called him out on it.
Son, that's what I said. That's what I was saying yesterday. I was doing my question of the day, and people were so outraged by Conor calling Floyd boy or whatever. And it's like, this is a boxing press conference, okay? This is what people do. Okay?
Homosexuality can't touch racism, baby.
Bernard Hopkins took a Puerto Rican flag, ripped it in half, and stepped on it in Puerto Rico, okay? Mike Tyson said, I'm going to eat your kids, to someone who actually didn't have kids, but he said he was going to eat their kids. He also said he was going to rape a reporter. He's not even fighting. The point is, if you can't insult the man you're about to fight, then who can you insult?
Well, I think the argument now, I never thought what kind of McGregor... I don't think he had a racist intent with what he said.
He was just being direct. He was being infantizing somebody. He was making somebody look like he was trying to son somebody.
But he doesn't realize that the phrase he used is classic historical racism.
In America. But where he's from Ireland, it's like you get, in my personal opinion, you have to forgive someone who's not aware of culture, right? The whole point of the movie Borat is I can get away with the wildest shit by having an accent, right? Borat did wild gay shit when he was around people. He did wild sexist shit when he was around people. He did wild, everything, wild offensive shit when he was around people. But the people are like, oh, he's a foreigner. He doesn't know better. It's okay.
Oh, ignorance of the law is no excuse for committing a crime either, though.
But it's not a crime.
I don't think it's a crime. But my thing is this. I don't think people are even on that anymore. I don't even know if people were ever really on that. Now the argument has shifted to, is boy a racial slur? And yes, it is.
In America.
In America. Always has been, always will be. It's museums that literally have plaques that tell you why boy was a racial slur. Like,
I would call my friends boy growing up. I'd say, yo, that's my boy, whatever. And my dad would say to me, he'd go, you can call me Roy, but don't call me boy. That's a Muhammad Ali quote.
That's it.
Yeah.
So my thing is, that's what really pissed me off more than anything. The people responding to my donkey of the day yesterday pissed me off more than Conor McGregor, because I was never mad at Conor McGregor. What I specifically said during donkey of the day is, I don't want any of my Caucasian cousins to get fucked up listening to somebody that is very impressionable, very charismatic. It's hard not to follow him and then go around doing that and find yourself in a bad situation.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
I defended you for that. I thought that's what you were saying.
Well, people don't listen. They only read headlines.
Of course. They read the headlines. Oh, blah, blah, blah. This dude going, what were they saying? PC the God.
Yeah, Charlemagne gives Conor McGregor donkey of the day for his use of the word boy. What you should do is click on it and listen to what I was specifically saying.
You were basically saying to people, hey, white people, you might not know this, but to black people, the word boy has been used as a derogatory term.
Absolutely.
And to us, it could be triggering hearing that from a white person. Do you think Conor's intent was to bring someone back to a time of Jim Crow and slavery? No, not at all. He's just trying to stun somebody. But people obviously are going to get, exaggerated about it.
Now, Conor can get flack now because he doubled down on it at the next press conference.
But where did he double down on it?
I don't know. Where was that?
Canada. Not the same history.
This guy.
I'm being that. Yo, you don't think that he knows what's going on?
No.
In Canada, they don't got the same history of that word boy. They don't have the same history of slavery. They don't have the same history of.
I think he was just trying to show he don't give a fuck. Now, James Davis.
Okay.
Has the greatest idea.
What he said?
Right. Talking to James Davis this morning. Mm-hmm. James Davis said Conor McGregor should, because moving forward, if you're 25 years old, I think he's like 25, right?
28.
He's an MMA fighter, UFC. He's going to have a future career.
Yeah.
You're going to need people to want to tune into your fights. You don't want to turn off any audience. So moving forward, now that you know that the word boy is a racial slur, you should write Floyd Mayweather a letter apologizing for your use of the word, and because you're just culturally ignorant, and say, look, Floyd, I know you can't read this letter, but I am apologizing for my use of the word. So therefore, you're insulting him and apologizing to a fan base you may have offended. Boom. You good.
I mean, I think it sounds good in theory, but I think apologizing might appease people in the moment. But long term, people think you're a bitch.
Yeah, he doesn't have to apologize. He has to tell the truth and just say, I didn't know.
That's the thing. Apologizing, people really think you're a bitch. If you double down on your words, people might not like it, but they respect it. There is a respect thing that goes with saying, hey, I feel this way, and what?
I agree, but it's sketchy in situations like this, because then it's like, so did you know you were being offensive in the first place? Like I think that's what people want to know.
Sure.
Like, do you know that this word is offensive to black people? It sounded like
after he said it, he backed off.
He did. He changed it to sir.
He said it to son.
Son, yeah, damn son.
And I wonder if that's like him going, oh, here that might be taken a racially insensitive way.
Yeah.
Let me back off, from this, and let me not, call them a boy, this, that, the other.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
Because I was just in Ireland last week, and people over there, like, the hype is unbelievable.
Oh, of course.
I don't know anything about boxing anymore. Does he have a shot?
No, and
not at all.
This is not even close.
He makes me believe he does.
But this is the beauty.
Well, let me tell you, in Ireland, they believe.
Yeah,
of course they do.
They also believe they could sustain life on potatoes. These people believe
it worked for a minute.
Exactly, right? So, but the issue with the fight is this, and the brilliance of Conor McGregor is that he is so hyped and he is so confident that he's actually making you think he has a chance. And there is something unique about this fight that has never happened with a Floyd Mayweather fight before, right? And this is the coolest thing. I'm watching this and I'm going, wow, this is the first time Floyd has been next to somebody and fighting somebody that could beat the shit out of him in a real fight.
Yeah.
Nobody else that Floyd has fought in a real fight could beat Floyd.
Madonna would beat the shit out of Floyd in a real fight. No. That motherfucker, Madonna?
No.
Yeah, absolutely. What is Madonna? He's Puerto Rican or some shit?
No, he's Argentine.
Yeah, I'll just say, he'll beat the fuck out.
But here's the thing.
Miguel Cotto would probably beat Floyd in a real fight.
No.
I think so.
No, because those people's go-to is boxing. And now your go-to is your comfort zone is boxing, and you're going against the best boxer
T.I. landed a punch on Floyd, bro.
T.I. did not. T.I. landed a punch on some bouncer's shoulder blade.
He brushed his shoulder or something. He touched Floyd in some way, shape, or form.
No, he didn't touch anything.
Boxing is different, man. I mean, listen, Floyd has mastered the sweet science of boxing. Real fight, I think I could beat Floyd in a real fight. I'm going to be honest with you. Floyd's 5'4",
Charlamagne, stop it.
150 pounds.
Maybe if you're in a Walgreens.
No way.
If you're in a Walgreens with brass knuckles, maybe you have a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not happening. Absolutely. You goddamn right. You didn't tell me how I could fight.
Floyd got to attack you. I don't know if you'd be good going to attack him, but if he tries to get a sucker punch on you and then your spider senses go and you start moving.
He better hit me in that nice pressure point. He better hit me right on that jaw or I'm going to go unconscious. But he better not let me get any in, okay? Because I'm going to grab his little ass off top. That's the first thing we doing. Come here, let's wrestle, goddamn it. All right? Come here, boy. We going to wrestle, little boy. All right? That's what's going to happen.
Yo, but for real, I was thinking about this fight. It is a very unique situation because when Conor talks shit to him in the press conference, part of me believes that Mayweather knows that in a street fight, McGregor would kick him in the head and knock him out, whatever.
I don't know. People forget. I don't know if people got caught up in all the yelling and screaming. Floyd said, and next time it's going to be MMA. And I was like, shut the fuck up,
He knows
Floyd.
what he said. He knows that shit. Why would you ever say that? Now, this being said, and I thought this was very interesting, and this is why McGregor has no fucking chance whatsoever, even though I like the fact that we're hyping up the fight. Not only does he have no chance, he won't land a single meaningful punch.
I agree with you.
There will not be a single
I agree with you. Unless Floyd...
that McGregor lands on Mayweather.
Unless Floyd is slowed down significantly.
Even if.
Listen, I agree with you.
And I'll tell you why. You know who couldn't land a single meaningful punch?
Nobody.
Canelo Alvarez.
Yes.
One of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world.
And he was 21.
He was young.
Yeah.
Manny Pacquiao couldn't land a single meaningful punch. Marquez couldn't land a single meaningful punch.
Bro,
we're talking about the best pound-for-pound boxers in the world. Couldn't land a single meaningful punch. How is some barefooted bum from Ireland who just started boxing going to land a meaningful punch against the greatest defensive boxer?
We don't appreciate defense unless it's football. And the truth of the matter is Floyd Mayweather is the greatest defensive fighter of all time. I've said it several times. I think Floyd Mayweather could dodge one bullet. I think if somebody pointed a gun at him, and shot one time, I think Floyd could dodge it. I'm going to be honest with you.
Hot takes are nice and hot, bro. You brought them back from Antigua.
I'm going to be honest with you. I really think he does. What he does is beautiful and is so unappreciated.
I think he could dodge
one bullet. He ain't going to get no chop action or fuck him up. But one bullet, absolutely. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. There's nothing about Conor McGregor's boxing background that makes me think he will be able to land one punch. I'm not going to say he won't, like you said, one meaningful punch on Floyd Mayweather.
So what's the idea? Floyd will knock him out or just pick him apart?
I think that Floyd is going to pick him apart, embarrass him, and
frustrate him.
Not even pick him apart, embarrass him, frustrate. This will happen. First round, Floyd will test the distance. And it will look like it will be competitive. Maybe towards the end of the first round, you're going to start to see Floyd really start to land and really start to push. But he's going to test the reactions of Conor. He's going to test that left hand, see if Conor has it.
Nah, see, you think it's too much boxing. Conor's coming out swinging. Conor's coming out bull in the goddamn china shop. I'm telling you, Conor's coming out giving it his all, fighting, throwing crazy punches.
But that's not even how
everybody's going to get
MMA.
excited. You remember when Victor Ortiz...
Yes.
At the end, when he was swinging at Mayweather all crazy and everybody was screaming because they thought Victor was landing all these punches, and you look at it in slow-mo and you realize he didn't land none and he headbutted him? That's what McGregor's going to do.
See, I don't think McGregor will do that because I think McGregor will go with what he knows. And he knows he actually does have some good boxing for an MMA guy. He's got a quick straight left counter, right? So I think that's what he'll rely on. I don't think he'll ever take the fight to Mayweather because that'd be too easy for Mayweather.
You don't think so?
Mayweather's a counter puncher. He wants you to take the fight. I think McGregor's going to talk all this shit and he's going to get in there. He knows he's going to get his ass kicked. My concern is this. You're either going to get knocked out from McGregor, you're going to quit, or your corner's going to throw in the towel. Those are the three options that you have. Nothing else is possible. Knocked out, you quit, corner throws in the towel.
You don't think Mayweather could just win by points like he does every other fight?
If he does, Conor will be permanently damaged for the rest of his life.
Reputation-wise?
Not physically.
Right.
Like, this could be a brain damage fight for Conor. And if you want to see how bad it could get, just watch Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Arturo Gatti. you will see a man take punishment. I mean, this is like, what 12 Years a Slave? What is that movie?
12 Years a Slave.
Yeah, it's going to be like that. You're going to be like, oh my God, how can you treat somebody like this?
I don't know if you ever sparred with a professional boxer. I sparred with Sean Porter, and Sean literally just hit me in the head whenever he wanted to. Like, it's like it was at will. Like, and I wasn't trying to get hit. Yeah,
you're one of the greatest defensive boxers in Wall Street history.
Listen, I'm a great defensive fighter. Okay, all right. But Sean was literally hitting me when he wanted to, where he wanted to, how he wanted to. Yeah. I don't see anything different that's going to happen with Mayweather and McGregor.
Try to do that shit when I'm not looking.
No, listen, I didn't know where they were coming from. Yeah. I don't think people understand the skill set of boxers, bro. Like, it's a totally different ball game. Yeah. Like, you're fighting somebody who literally has devoted their life to learning how to throw a proper punch, to learn how to do defense. They got the utmost stamina. That's the other factor. Conor McGregor don't have the stamina that a fucking Floyd Mayweather has.
Talk on it.
Conor don't have the stamina Andre Berto has.
Conor don't have the stamina that Nate Diaz has.
That's what I'm saying.
Conor's looking gas in his 5-round fights. Guaranteed they're 5-minute rounds. But you gotta understand, when Floyd spars, he spars 5-minute rounds. And they have different guys come in every 3 rounds. Yeah. His training regimen is insane. Say what you want about Floyd Mayweather. I don't know what I just said right now. You cannot criticize his work ethic.
No.
The man is prepared.
He's the Kevin Hart of boxing.
Do not disrespect Floyd like that.
Don't disrespect Kev like that. Kev works his ass off, man.
I didn't say he didn't work his ass off.
Floyd and Kev got the same kind of work ethic, bro. Kev don't take no days off, and neither does Floyd fucking Mayweather.
All right, fair enough.
If McGregor won, where would it rank in the all-time sports upset rankings?
Bigger than the guy who beat Tyson.
Douglas?
Douglas.
Bigger than that?
Yeah. I think it has to be The Undertaker losing at WrestleMania.
It's definitely number one.
It's number one.
It's all number time? One.
It has
it's number one all time. I mean, the ones that come to mind in recent history is like the Giants, Patriots, but that's different because that was, even though the Patriots are a dynasty, that's one season of dominance. Floyd Mayweather has had a career of dominance.
It would be if the New York Liberty beat the Golden State Warriors.
No, it's not that far.
If the WNBA New York Liberty beat the Golden State Warriors.
Yes, it is.
And hear what I'm saying. The Liberty actually have a better chance because they play basketball.
Yes, it is. And I'm going to tell you, the reason I believe that is because Mike Tyson, even though he was the great Mike Tyson, he has not had the storied career that Floyd Mayweather has. Floyd Mayweather is 49-0. You come out of retirement. First of all, you come out of retirement to fight somebody who's not even a boxer. It's some people that want to see him lose. It's people in the boxing world, boxing enthusiasts, that are like, they would relish in the fact he got his ass kicked by somebody like Conor McGregor. So even if it wasn't the biggest upset of all time, it would look like it in the media.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my God.
They would love it.
Man, you'd have domestic violence organizations putting out ads for Conor McGregor. You had any
payback's a bitch.
Exactly.
Floyd.
People don't like Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Like, you can't lose when you're that disliked. Yeah. When you're really the bad guy like that, nah.
That's the genius, I think, of Floyd, is like Floyd realized that casual boxing fans don't appreciate his style, right? So they don't want to pay to see him win, but they will pay to see him lose. And you pay the same price of admission if you're going to hate or if you're going to celebrate.
It's the Howard Stern theory, baby.
Oh, that's right. People didn't like him.
Yeah, Howard Stern was like, yo, the people who, matter of fact, and it's like that with me too, people that dislike you spend more time listening to you than the people who fucking like you.
Yeah.
Because people are fucking retarded.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
And that's just the truth to the matter.
The way that works for me is people just comment no's on my pictures. That's a little different. It's not like they listen longer. They just like no's.
So the moral of the story is we all learned something this week. And it's another situation that ties into this situation. I look at the situation that happened with Tariq Nasheed and D. Ray McKesson and Black Lives Matter movement. You know, Tariq posted a picture of Planet of the Apes.
Yep.
And it's the trilogy. The trilogy comes to an end this week. The final film is coming out in that trilogy. And it shows Caesar and his crew going up against what seems to be some type of law enforcement, military, and some other monkeys that have joined with the law enforcement and military.
Right. But humans, basically. So like apes versus humans, and a couple of apes are in the human squad as well.
So on Caesar's side, you see a guy in a blue vest. One blue vest, right? So Tariq goes, you see the symbolism in this picture, Black Lives Matter symbolism, and one ape has a blue vest on. Social media gassed DeRay up, started, oh, DeRay, they're making a mockery of you, blah, blah, blah. DeRay comes out. He says that he's appalled and, he can't believe that Hollywood has no consciousness, yada, yada, yada. And then Whoopi Goldberg came through on The View with the eat. All right? And Whoopi came through and Whoopi said, have you seen the movie from 1968? They showed a picture of the movie from 1968. It's a lot of apes with blue vests. It's like, DeRay, get over yourself. All right? DeRay, I respect him because he did what you're supposed to do when you are presented with new information.
Right.
He deleted all his tweets.
Bang.
He said, hey, I talked to some people in Hollywood. They put me on. I wasn't aware of the history of the film. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's what you're supposed to do when you're presented with new information. Yeah. That's all.
The deleting the tweets is huge, too. Because if you don't delete them, they stay out there in the world.
Yes.
And they can still influence people to think a certain way about this movie, think a certain way about racism in America, etc. Yes. So I think that's being accountable for your actions.
Absolutely.
I applaud DeRay for that.
Absolutely. So I tie that in with the Conor McGregor-Mayweather situation because when I got on Donkey Today and gave Conor Donkey Today, it's because I'm trying to educate people. So when I educate you and I put you on to what this term is, what it means, and you know that information, now going forward, you can do the right thing. If you're doubling down and you're saying, oh, boy, it's not a racial slur, blah, 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 well, now you just deserve to get whatever consequences come from, you putting that kind of energy out there because you know better now.
Yeah. There's even like there's a responsibility to teach people how to treat you.
Yes.
Right? Like
absolutely.
If you're somebody who's a victim of racism, right? And you go, I want to be treated a certain way. It's also on you to educate people on what is racist.
Absolutely.
They might not know.
Absolutely.
So we can't just go around assuming everybody knows every single cultural nuance in the world.
Yes.
Even Americans.
Yes. If somebody from London came, London, what they call cigarettes, fags.
Fags,
right?
yeah.
If somebody from London came over here.
Hey, you got a fag?
No, how about this? If they said, I'm going to go smoke a fag, right? I'm going to say, bro, I don't think you should say that, you know what I'm saying, too loud in fucking America. Why not? Because smoke means to shoot and kill someone, and fag means, it doesn't mean a gay person, but it's a racial term, a derogatory term for a gay person.
What if he was like, no, I just want to suck one's dick?
Cool. Go suck all the dick you want, all right? But you can't say you want to smoke a fag in America. It's just that simple. So all I'm saying is when you're presented with new information, you change your mind. That's what DeRay did. Yeah. So I respect it. What I don't respect is all those other people who put the gas to this shit, Tariq and all of them, and didn't go back and say, you know what? We were wrong.
Right.
You got to have that same energy when you think you're right that you do when you've been proved wrong. That's what smart people do. That's what intelligent people do. That's what people who aren't just screaming fire in a crowded movie theater do. I don't want to cause unnecessary panic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want people to live in a world where they think everything is racist. By the way, you don't have to reach for racism in America.
It's there.
It's there.
You will see it.
Yes.
You saw the district attorney. You saw the Florida district attorney got pulled over by the cops?
Yeah.
Oh, that was crazy.
First of all, I am so attracted to this woman. There is something that is so bossed up about this chick. She was so calm. Basically, she got pulled over by these two cops, these two white cops. And I don't know if you saw the video. But
I didn't watch it. I saw
she
the
gets pulled
headline.
over by these two cops. And she knows she didn't do anything wrong. And instead of like screaming around the district attorney, she's so calm sitting in this chair. And they're like, she's like, hey, I work for the department. What department? The attorney's office. And why did I get pulled over? It was something, we do random plate checks and we didn't see the plates come back. Okay. Can I have your cards, please? My card isn't in the thing. Can I write my name on a piece of paper? Yeah, that's fine. When she said, can I have your cards? She did this motion with her finger. She's like, can I have some cards, please? Like she was rubbing my... Bro!
That's district attorney privilege, though. I mean, come on.
State's attorney.
State's attorney. That's a different level, bro.
Bro, but the confidence and the calm, and these guys just melted in front of her. Man, my man's hand is shaking when he's writing his information.
Did you see the video? And I saw it on Tariq's timeline where the guy was handcuffed on his stomach.
Yeah.
Hands behind his back.
Yeah.
And they just had the dog biting the fuck out of him.
It looked like he was trying to get the dog off of his arm.
I can't tell. There was no commands.
You didn't think so?
Where are the commands?
The guy's pulling at the dog.
Where are the commands? commands. It's a German Shepherd. Envy got a German Shepherd that he brings in here all the time. It's verbal commands.
So you're saying he was faking pulling the guy
Absolutely.
off.
That's not even how you do it. It's a command. Like
Fair
it's like
heel or
some shit. Safe word. Release.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like boy, I don't know. Like boy probably make him attack.
Yo,
but, like,
hold on. What if the word to let go was the N-word?
Whoa.
But he sees all the cameras around. He's like, fuck. Golly,
you know what? There's something to that. Because I'm like, either they was really just fucking with, I mean, of course they was really just fucking with him.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't you just yell a command? It's 3 police officers and nobody knows the command to get the dog off?
It was probably Coon or some shit like that. And he's just like, spoon.
Yes.
Balloon.
But that's my point. You don't have to reach for it. It's there. The last thing I want to think about right now, I swear to God, is Planet of the fucking Apes.
Being racist.
Because I love that franchise. And I'm going to see that trilogy. So don't put me in that goddamn position
well, you got
to where I got a motherfucking boycott Planet of the Apes because they done made a mockery of fucking D-Ray. And by the way, man, ain't nobody in Hollywood thinking about D-Ray that deep to where they would want to put a blue vest on a guy, on an ape in a movie and say, this is D-Ray. Like, I just don't see that.
Yeah.
I don't see that.
I mean, I don't know the character in the movie that well. I don't know anything about it.
I've never seen the 1968 film. I got introduced to Planet of the Apes via the Mark Wahlberg film.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then I love this new franchise. So, I mean.
I'm not surprised that it came from Tariq because this is what Tariq does. I mean, we had Tariq on here. This is what he's done in the past is he race baits, man. Or race pimps, I would even say.
And that all of it is very dangerous across the board. I mean, I've been seeing so much of it this week. We had Linda Sarsour and Tamika Mallory and Carmen Perez on the Breakfast Club this week. And, Tamika wrote a letter in response to the NRA about an ad that we all know is dangerous.
Man, she's sexy too, man. There's something about.
Tamika's
I think I just like strong ladies or something.
Tamika's
like that.
no joke, bro. Tamika is no joke. Like, and I love being around those three because they do have an energy. Like, there's just something about them that's just dope. I personally feel like we're not supporting them enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to march this weekend in Fairfax, Virginia. Yeah. They're marching in front of the NRA. In Virginia. These are women. But I think mothers.
What was important they clarified is we're not marching against your Second Amendment right.
No, not at all. They got armed security. All right? By the way. What are you talking? By the way, they have armed security. They're not against guns at all. They want what everybody else wants. Stricter gun laws.
Yeah.
That's it. Don't we all want that?
Which most gun owners want. That's the thing. I think the people who don't want the stricter gun laws are the gun lobbyists who are owned by the gun manufacturing companies because they just want to sell more guns. Yeah, right. Sure. It's just like a Coca-Cola company going, "Hey, don't make 2 liters illegal. We want to sell as many Cokes as possible. Just keep on selling." But I like what they had to say on the interview. I watched some of it. Just about this isn't an attack on your gun rights. I think we're all on the same page here. We believe in the Second Amendment. We're not attacking it. There are things that we can improve.
They're marching against the fact that in this ad, they basically told gun owners to be against those who are seeking justice. They specifically said Islamophobia. Oh, no, what do they call it? They said people who are marching against... are marching for they call it for xenophobia, LGBT rights, attacks against the police. Like, I can't believe people are this clueless. Like, people aren't marching for no reason. They're marching because of things like Philando Castile. They're marching for things like Alton Sterling. Like, they're marching because there's unarmed killings of black people going on in America. Sure. Muslim Americans want their rights. They don't want to be put in the same boat as these Islamic terrorists. So they're like, yo, don't ban all of us. Like, they're not marching for no reason. And the NRA basically did an ad saying, fuck that, these people are wrong. They specifically said they get behind their president, as in Barack Obama. It was just like, it was like The Purge, bro. It was an inflammatory ad, and all Tamika did was she wrote a letter asking them to pull this ad, telling them why it's dangerous. The NRA doubled down and did a video and put Tamika in it.
Yeah, and I heard that.
And put DeRay in it.
So getting a lot of
death threats.
Yeah. So explain the danger aspect, because I think that's an interesting
I think if you are talking to these crazy ass rednecks in the South, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to just generalize like
that. It's not rednecks. Scalise got shot by a liberal.
That's what I'm saying.
There are crazy ass politicized individuals on both sides.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And I mean, like, you look like somebody like Dylan Roof, you never know what energizes people to do crazy shit.
Yep.
So when you're the NRA and you got this much power and you're already making it seem like these people are the enemy.
Sure.
And then, Tamika didn't say anything inflammatory in her letter. Her letter specifically said, we want you to take this ad down and issue an apology. Don't stoke the flames of the bullshit that's already going on out here. Mm-hmm. They doubled down and goes, we're not taking it down.
Okay.
And these are the people that you should be concerned about.
Boy.
God damn!
Yeah.
Like you're putting a target on their back.
A bullseye.
A bullseye. Like I'm legitimately concerned and worried and legitimately pray for Tamika, Carmen, and Linda Sarsour.
And I think with DeRay, that's the thing. I mean, you can attack him for that other stuff, but I was saying to somebody the other day, I can see why he sees and interprets everything as an attack on him because they have put that bullseye.
Yeah, we don't. That's the thing we don't see. We don't see.
What his timeline looks like, man.
Forget the timeline. Yeah. Phone calls, emails.
Oh, sure.
Letters, constant.
Sure.
Drive-bys. You don't know.
Linda Sarsour has security all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's bad. You know what I'm saying? For people who just want
Linda
justice.
does invite certain things that she shouldn't have to. I think that she's misunderstood in many ways, but I think there's certain things that she does to invite this criticism that she doesn't necessarily have to do.
Now, I'll say this. This ties into what we're talking about, too, about how when you learn things, you have to adjust your thought process. Linda Sarsour made the jihad comment.
So explain the context of the jihad comment, because like most things,
let me pull it
there
up.
Was you're only going to get a part of it. Because you're only going to get the part of it that was shown in the media, which was she was basically speaking at a Islamic
She was talking to a
conference.
group of Muslims.
Right. Well, I mean, it was a conference, right?
But it was majority Muslims.
Was Muslim.
Yeah.
But and it was on Facebook Live as well. And she was basically talking about the importance of outrage and how you must be outraged. And that's how we will protest this administration, being the Trump administration. And she said, I hope Allah accepts our protest or outrage as a form of jihad.
Yes.
Now, if you're Muslim and you say jihad, that's like if you're white and you say the N-word because of the interpretation of that word coming from those people. This is America.
Key word, interpretation, you're right, America.
But here's the thing. If we're going to say the same thing about Conor, right, we can't say the same thing about Conor McGregor and then not say it about Linda Sarsour.
I agree, but the only difference...
Real quick, let me just finish the point, right? So it's like, so with Conor, we're going, hey... People are going, hey, you got to understand American cultural nuance. How dare you don't understand American cultural nuance? Now, Conor isn't from America. Linda is from America, right? She's lived in Brooklyn her whole life. She's aware of what that word means. She's aware of how triggering that word can be. And she's aware of the implications of saying that word, right? There are many other ways. She doesn't have to use the word jihad. She could just say, we got to protest, and I hope Allah wants our protest. Well, she's using that word specifically because she knows the news that coverage it's going to get.
I don't believe that. Listen, this is the context. Mm-hmm. Sarsour told a story from Islamic scripture about a man. Sarsour, I'm sorry. Linda Sarsour told a story from Islamic scripture about a man who once asked Muhammad, the founder of Islam, what is the best form of jihad or struggle? And our beloved prophet said to him, a word of truth in front of a tyrant, ruler, or leader, that is the best form of jihad. I hope that when we stand up to those who oppress our communities, that Allah accepts from us that as a form of jihad, that we are struggling against tyrants and rulers, not only abroad in the Middle East or on the other side of the world, but here in these United States of America, where you have fascists and white supremacists and Islamophobes reigning in the White House. And I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't even know it was other definitions of jihad. I thought jihad meant holy war. I thought it meant you put the bombs on, you scrap up, you run up, and you blow stuff up. I had no idea.
Just to think about it, right? Like, this religion precedes bombs.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this religion came around in 6th century Arabia.
Jihad's a term that's been around for 1,000 years almost.
Exactly.
Well, it's been around for 1,600 years, even more. So it's from the inception of the religion. And the religion was spread through jihad, but this is at a time when there were swords, and this was a time there were knives, right? There's no doubt that there is an equivalency with violence in jihad. That's historic fact, right?
But it's not, though.
In different definitions of it. Yeah. But like she said, the translation is struggle.
It's not only struggle, but
speak truth to power.
Yes, like a word of truth in front of a tyrant, ruler, or leader. Sure. And she said that is the best form of jihad.
I'm defending her, and I defended her for what she said because I understood the context of what she said, and she was saying, hey, we're not talking about violent jihad. What I'm saying is she knew that this is an inflammatory remark that was going to get lots of press. right?
Yeah, in a minute.
She
We can
knew this was an inflammatory mark that was going to get lots of press.
I don't think she did, bro.
Okay, I can't tell you what she is. This is my take on it. And I was speaking to some Muslim friends about it. And what they said was this. He goes, the problem with this is we know how this is going to be interpreted, right? And we know the commotion this is going to cause. And then once you become the girl who's defending jihad or the girl who's defending Sharia or the girl who's defending these things that are very hard to defend, especially with the modern day perception, right? Because what you're essentially asking is all Americans to learn the nuance of a religion that is not from America or not popular in America.
But here's the thing. The reason I can't give her flack is because she was talking to a room of Muslims.
Sure, but she said in the interview, she was like, listen, I know I'm on Facebook Live. I know people are going to take this. I know exactly what I'm doing. She said it in the interview, so she knows what she's politicizing this movement, right? Which is fine. I agree with what she's trying to say. All she's saying is, hey, we should protest for what we believe and we should be outraged. That's cool. That's a supportive thing. I think we would all support that.
Absolutely.
You could say that without the word jihad, just like Bill Maher could say that joke without the N-word, and it would have been way better served. The problem with saying jihad is all of a sudden, once you say that word, it dismisses from all the great things that you've said in your speech.
I agree with you because that's the type of era we live in, but should she have to? If that's her culture...
What does she care more about?
Her people, I would hope. If
she cares about her message and that getting to the most people, then she should say it in a way that's digestible. That's personally what I feel.
I agree with that, and that's the easy thing to say, but I just don't know if somebody should have to dumb down on their culture just because we don't know. Because that's the truth of it, man. We don't know. Like, even with Conor McGregor.
Now you're doing the Conor thing. It's like we're going to hate on people. All these people are hating on Conor because he didn't know.
Yeah.
It's like you can't criticize Conor and then say... you can't criticize Conor for not knowing, and then when Linda Sarsour says it, go criticize America for not knowing. We're in America.
But me personally, I didn't know it was more than one definition of jihad.
Sure.
Once I do the research,
yeah,
and I actually listen to what she said and realize it's several different meanings to jihad, it'd be stupid of me to try to paint her as a terrorist or try to say she was calling for a holy war against the president because I know better.
All right, but what if, like, for example, we know tons of white people who have historically said the N-word and not meant it in a racist way at all. Intent matters. We know that Eminem said the N-word in raps before he was a famous rapper. Amongst his friends, apparently, he said it. This is well known in the industry. Nobody's upset about it because they understand the intent wasn't malicious.
So her intent wasn't malicious?
Linda's intent was not malicious. You know who else's intent was not malicious? Bill Maher. It still was a huge story. So what I would say to Bill, just like what I would say to Linda, saying that word takes away from your message, takes away from the help that you're trying to do.
I agree with you, but it's hard to say that to somebody when that's their culture. Like, Bill's not black. So he's a white guy.
But he's a comedian. That's his culture is comedy.
Yeah, but there's a lot of white comedians that wouldn't use that word.
But we know white people that like to do.
I agree with that
Friends
too.
of ours
do. They take the L. But I don't even know if they're taking the L. They just do it in a funnier way than Bill Maher did. But I just think it's interesting, like, with Linda, that's a great conversation too, because that's really her culture. So I'm going to tell her not to use her language, not to use her culture, because we don't understand it.
I mean, we just told Conor not to.
No, that's not his culture either.
In Conor's culture, calling someone boy, which happens all the time, and I mean, that's my family's from the UK, right? This is you constantly doing it. Hey, boy.
I don't think I would have any problem with Conor if he had just said boy. It was the dance for me, boy. That's real minstrel show, Bojangles.
In America.
Bamboo. Yeah.
So just what I'm saying, jihad in America is not what jihad is in the Middle East. Jihad in America is buildings getting blown up, just like Dance for Me Boy in America is some minstrel show shit.
Yeah.
So if we got to just
So what do we do when we learn?
So
what do we do when we learn the new information? Like, now that we know jihad don't mean just blowing shit up, and it can mean...
Well, it does also mean that.
I mean, it does also mean that.
Yeah.
So once we know how, and we know exactly how Linda meant it. When you listen to actually what she said, it actually was a beautiful speech.
I never questioned what her intent was with that statement.
When we know that, what do we do? What do we do with that information?
I think the people that know, right, which are probably the vast minority, aren't the ones that are offended. You weren't offended when you heard it. I wasn't offended when I heard it. My one concern with that statement was you're justifying that Allah wants jihad. Right?
Yeah.
So everybody got caught up in this jihad word. And I'm like, she didn't mean it like that. She's trying to say be peaceful. What really got me concerned was, whoa. You just said that Allah wants jihad. So now all these other people that are committing acts of jihad, you agree Allah wants that shit.
Not in the context you use it.
Not in the context, but I'm saying what you're doing is validating jihad.
If you're a Muslim who actually wants war and stuff, you probably learned something from Linda. Because Linda said the best form of jihad is the conversation. Talking to the tyrant. She didn't say killing the motherfucker.
I never said she did. I mean, Linda's a product of this environment as well. She's a product of free speech. She's a product of freedom of religion. You know, this is, and like she said in the interview, she's a product of Kingian nonviolent protests.
I just think it's dangerous when we're doing all of this yelling fire and crowd in movie theaters because people like Linda have targets on their back now. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you want jihad against our president? We're going to kill you. Like, you don't even know what she meant. You know, but that's why it's so important to get information out there. But people have to be receptive to the information. Sure. And when you get new information, you got to be smart enough to change your fucking mind.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying.
D-Ray did.
You got to do what D-Ray did.
D-Ray found out new information and then backed off of it.
And by the way, he was ready to clap back at Whoopi. His first tweet was like, "Oh, if you got something to say to me, I'm here." But then I guess he really paid attention to what she said, and he had to, being the smart guy he is, he had to fall back.
Well, and that's the difference between somebody who is right to lead a group of people, and take their own words and be accountable for that, and somebody who is pimping a group of people, which is Tariq, right? Which he doesn't really care. I mean, I got a beef with Tariq because he put up this website, the Suspected Words website. I mean, it's already taken down, but he put up this, we were talking about, but, and basically, Suspected Words website, SWS, Suspected White Supremacists Database, or whatever the fuck it is, right? And he put a bunch of people on this website, and a bunch of people that he had, I guess, beef with, put me up on the fucking website, and the shit pissed me off.
He put a target on your back.
He put a fucking target on my back. Just like what happened with, with Linda by the end of our NRA and that kind of shit.
What could happen to Connor?
What could absolutely
like Connor could be eating in a restaurant. Oh, word.
Oh yeah,
gotta
boy,
call Mayweather boy.
Now who's gonna dance?
His fucking food. Like I'm serious. I'm
What's
serious.
the swing on him? Shit, T.I. swung on. Well, that's a little different situation.
Let's not
that's
be
a crazy kind of situation.
That's my worst nightmare. That you get into an argument with some little skinny ass motherfucker and you realize, oh shit, he got cauliflower on his head. Let me leave him the fuck alone. That might be a fucking MMA fight.
Listen, if you swing, you best not miss.
Man, I'm not. You know how bad an MMA fighter will embarrass you? Because they're going to put you in one of them grapple holds. Ain't nobody got time for that shit,
You're going to sleep somebody.
Nah.
You're going to have to tap out in a fight.
Nobody got time for that.
Anyway, the point is, you have to understand the context of who's saying a situation, right? If you know that somebody is out there race baiting or out there pimping. By the way, with this website, the reason I know it was the ultimate pimping is the idea was you could post to the website suspected white supremacists. So you could post whoever you want up there. Bill Maher's up there. All these people are up there, right? You post whoever you want. We looked a little deeper into the website. People started screenshotting shit. Now, you would think that if you really cared about your people, you could just post whoever you want. It would be very easy to post because you care about your people. You want to get these white supremacists out there so you can get the word out because you care about your people. You would think that you wouldn't charge people to post them because that would just inhibit these faces from getting on the website and inhibit progress and inhibit.
What's the charge for a white supremacist?
$20 a month to post
reasonable.
white supremacists.
That's $29.
So my point is, you went from pimping girls, now you pimping your own people, you're pimping black people. That's what you do, or allegedly pimping girls, etc. But we have to understand where this message comes from.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. If you pay $29 to post a picture of Andrew Schultz on a website to say he's a suspected white supremacist,
he would have done it for $15.
You, my friend, are the fucking media page. Like, why would you pay $29 to post a picture of somebody on a white supremacist website? Like, that makes no sense to me.
Guys, it's Assalamu Andy. If you're gonna post me, you gotta post me right, okay? You post me and Linda Sarsour, okay? We are brothers and sisters under God.
The moral of the story is we all got to start having, like we say it all the time, got to start having more conversations with people, start communicating with people more, and we all got to get smarter. Because there's a lot of shit that we simply don't know, and it's okay to motherfucking learn. I learned a lot this week. I had no idea that there was Blue Vest in fucking Planet of the Apes in 1968. I had no idea that jihad had a bunch of different meanings. And I educated people by letting them know that boy is a white racist word. That's the way the world should fucking work.
Absolutely. I remember I immediately called Tariq. Not immediately, but I saw this thing pop up. People are sending me on Twitter. I tried to go to the website. It was already shut down within minutes. And I called Tariq because that's usually how I handle any kind of issue. If I have a confrontation with somebody, I go right to that person. I speak to them directly, And I called him. He called me back. He's like, "What's up, Schultz?" Like you don't know what the fuck is up. I go, "Hey, Schultz, how you doing? What's going on?" I go, "Tariq, what's up with this website right here?" He goes, "Oh yeah." And I was like, "Why am I on this website?" He goes, "You know what? Wasn't my website. I was just working with those people and helping them. I'm very sorry about that. I apologize."
Come on, Tariq. Stand by your shit, Tariq.
Immediately
Come on now.
left. I apologize about that. I called them. I took it down because I don't want that to be potentially associated with me. People could possibly sue me, and it could be a bad look for me. You know what I mean? I was like, Tariq, this is not only a bad look, but it's also potentially dangerous. Somebody could get hurt. You put people on this list. Somebody could kill them. Or at least beat them up. Now you're responsible for that. Is that what you want there now? Listen, I apologize. I'm very sorry. I didn't have anything to do with it. This is publicly posted. People post the people. I didn't have anything. Now, granted, everybody on this list has had some sort of beef with Tariq. There's all these YouTubers that got him taken down off YouTube.
Is that real? Somebody told me he got taken down off YouTube.
He got taken down off YouTube because he was posting copyright infringement things. He was filing copyright infringement on these other YouTubers that were shitting on him.
Wow.
So what Tariq is, second you talk about Tariq, all of a sudden he goes copyright infringement and tried to get their pages down. So they banded together and they called YouTube and like, this guy's posting fake copyright infringement. So they took his page down. That's why he's restarting over. That's why I think he's doing this site, because he's broke and he has to find a way to make money because he didn't have his YouTube's page anymore. Right? I don't understand what else he does for a living.
Tariq, I don't know if you're broke or not, but at Andrew Schultz is his Twitter. You know what I'm saying? You can,
I'm right here.
You can reply to that immediately. But listen,
what
man,
you need to do is reply to God, because I'm with God right now. So you take this up with Allah, Tariq. Okay.
The moral of the story for me with all of this is, man, is that we all have to get smarter. We all have to learn more about each other because it's too much real shit going on for us to be worried about this shit that is not even really there. We don't have to reach for nothing.
It's there.
You don't have to reach for Islamophobia. You don't have to reach for racism. You don't have to reach for sexism. You don't have to reach for homophobia. There's a lot of that real shit out there.
And if you see someone reaching,
you got to check them. You got to
check them. You got to know their intent. Intent means everything.
Yes.
If they're reaching for shit, if you're saying a blue vest on an ape is D-Ray McCason and you're putting that out there in the world like Tariq did, you're pimping, bro.
Yeah,
They're trying to take your money.
Yeah, I just wish Tariq would have, and maybe he did, maybe I didn't see it, but I wish he would have just said something like, Whoopi's right.
He couldn't even stand by the fact that he made a website.
Yeah.
The second I called him on it, immediately, there's nothing to do with me. Bro, there's a swastika on the front of the website, right? There's this image for the swastika. I'll show you guys the image so you can see it. And I go, Tariq, there's a swastika on the front of the website, right? Here's the image of the swastika. You see that, right?
It actually looks like some sperm in a square.
Listen, but you see it.
Yeah. Hey, look.
You guys, which camera? So there's this swastika on the front of the website. I go, Tariq, there's a swastika on the front of the website. His response to me is, oh no, that's not a swastika. It might look like that. It might have something to do with it, but that was, I think that might be just a coincidence or something like that. It's like, you're not even going to stand by the fact that you made the website. You're not going to stand by the fact that you put the people up on this website. You're not going to stand by the fact that you have anything to do with it, and you're going to say that that's not a swastika. You can't completely bitch out when someone calls you. You got to stand by your word.
You got to stand by your shit, man. You do. You got to stand by your shit. And like, once again, I'm tired of all of this screaming fire in crowded freaking movie theaters. There's too much real shit going on for us to be paying attention to things that don't even fucking matter. They're frivolous. And when you get new information, don't be afraid to change your motherfucking mind. Now, let's pay some bills and we're going to come back with our guest. All right? Now, this week's episode of Brilliant Idiots is brought to you by Blue Apron. Picnics, potlucks, dinner parties, barbecues, good food is essential to a successful summer. And Brilliant Idiots listeners, this is the moment where I realize I got to go pee, and Andrew will take it from here, and we'll be back with our guest.
I'm not going to lie. I did Blue Apron this week. Me and the friend, I will say, hi, if you're listening right now. We did Blue Apron. It was a chicken dish with like a pasta, but the little balls. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know, not risotto, but like something like that.
Is pilaf a pasta or that's a rice?
I think that's
like
a rice,
that.
But it was absolutely delicious. I don't know how to cook for shit, okay? I have no clue how to cook. I purposely didn't even put a dishwasher in my new apartment because I know I'm not going to wash dish. I'm not going to cook.
It hurt your resale, but okay.
I know I heard that, but I think I'll get one maybe when I want to resell. This was absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. It took 40 minutes. Give yourself 40 minutes to cook the meal. That's important. You have to do it. But absolutely delicious. I have no respect for chefs anymore. If I can do this,
Right.
if I can do this, there's no point in going out or giving accolades to these top chef, this top chef. It doesn't matter. This was absolutely delicious. It was a chicken. I'm going to tweet about which one it was later. Amazing. 40 minutes. Boom. Ate it. Portions were solid. There was even a little bit of leftovers. Great deal. I love it. Make sure you get it.
How much left? I got a legit like
It's three meals.
3 meals.
So that's
but
what
you
I would
shared
say.
it with an adult. I'm
But
sharing it with kids. Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is it was a 2-person meal.
Yeah.
There's 3, in my opinion, 3 proportions. You know. So, but anyway, just make sure you get it. You know, it's now easier than ever to create delicious summer meals with Blue Apron for less than $10 a meal, which is crazy. Blue Apron delivers seasonal recipes along with pre-portioned ingredients, okay? Right to your door. That's the thing. You don't have to do anything. It's just there. It's already, everything's worked out.
You
Just
got a
put it in the
doorman in
bowl,
your new
cook
spot?
it. No doorman.
What?
I know, no doorman. I'm not that bougie, bro.
Okay.
You know, people can come get me. People that see me on lists can come get me. Anyway, point is, Blue Apron is completely flexible, so you can customize your recipes each week, and yeah, just make sure you do it. Pick the meals that you want, and then get that shit delivered to your house. Blue Apron's freshness guarantee promises that every ingredient arrives ready to cook, and if they don't, they're going to make it right. They're going to send you the good shit. For me, everything was fine. So some of the upcoming meals in July include seared chicken and creamy pasta with summer squash and sweet peppers, creamy shrimp rolls with quick pickles and sweet potato wedges, fresh basil fettuccine pasta with sweet corn and cubanelli pepper, chili butter steaks with Parmesan potatoes and spinach. I'm going to get that steak one. That looks delicious. Anyway, check out this menu and get your first 3 meals for free. That's crazy. Your first 3 meals free with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/idiots. You're getting free food. There's people starving in Somalia, and they're giving away free food to us Americans, okay? Take advantage. You'll love how good it feels and it tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron, so don't wait. That's blueapron.com/idiots. Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
All right, we got our guest in the building. I first was introduced to this guy. I think he had Bill Gates.
Yeah, it was Robert Greene.
Robert Greene. What the fuck I said Bill Gates
They
for?
look similar, sort of.
Robert Greene. Robert Greene was on his podcast, The Art of Charm. Jordan Harbinger. Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah,
That's
man.
black privilege right
Yeah,
there. You can
what?
mix up white people and nobody
That's
says
right.
anything.
I don't know
That's
why
right.
the fuck I was thinking of goddamn Bill Gates just now.
Bro, if I said, listen, we had Denzel Washington. Oh, it wasn't Denzel. Barack Obama was on the website.
Yeah, you'd be like-
it was a great interview. One of those famous black guys who
Dismissed.
doesn't know. Yeah. Boom.
Money, power, same thing.
Immediately on the social database or whatever Tariq shit is.
Jordan, I'm happy you're here, man.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. This is awesome.
Talk to us about the Art of Charm podcast.
Well, we've been doing it for 10 years. The episode that you heard was our 7th year anniversary episode,
Yep.
which is funny because I did the show for so long and I never really took it that serious. I was just like, oh, it's a podcast, you know, and like no one's really listening to these. And that was when I was like, I really enjoy doing this. I'm going to double down on it. And then that was kind of at the same time that podcasting, as you guys know, started to get kind of trendy. And I was like, oh, this timing is pretty good. I don't suck at broadcasting anymore, which I did for a long time. You know that learning curve where you're like, I can just mail it in. And it's like people notice, but you think they don't notice.
It took you 7 years to get it right?
Yeah, I think I'm still getting it right. And I'm on year 11.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of a work in progress all the time. But you 3.5 million monthly downloads and counting.
You do nothing else. You
I
don't
do.
have to.
No, I don't have to.
Yeah.
I don't do anything else. We have our live classes that we teach in LA. I got some online courses and stuff like that, but I just like doing the show.
What is it that you're teaching to the people that don't know?
Sure. So we teach, essentially what we teach is emotional intelligence that's distilled in a way that anyone can learn and master. So we take high performers and like I'll take an FBI agent and be like, how do you read body language when you're interrogating somebody? Or we had Larry King come on, otherwise known as Bill Gates, you know, and he just he broke down conversation skills and talked about like how to have, he's done over 60,000 interviews. So I was like, what are you looking for? How you having interesting conversations? Or we'll have a CIA agent come on and be like, how are you reading people? What are you looking at when you're talking with Al-Qaeda suspects? So we have them teach those skills to the listeners, and that's what I'm going to have you guys come on and talk about too at some point.
Larry King gave me the best advice ever when it came to interviewing. He was like, always keep your questions short. And he was like, the most important question to always ask is why?
Yeah, he loves that question.
Why? And that's like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Why?
What if a girl's like, no?
Why?
Why? Why can't I get the pussy? Why?
Yeah, but don't we ask that when it happens?
Do we? I thought no means no. No means why. According
No means
No
explain
no
yourself.
does mean no. But I still would like to know why.
Let's ask a question. How long does a no last for? What's the shelf life of a no?
Okay, this is when it becomes the art of not being
this
charming.
This is a good question. Right. No, this is because I've been thinking about this. Like, a no does mean no, but forever?
No. Me and my wife, I was trying to get with my wife for a year. And she was constantly telling me no.
So how long would you let her know? No is what, like 7 minutes?
No went for as long as we ended up hooking up.
So you just...
I feel like that's a yes if you're continually hooking up during the no.
No, it was always no. We never kissed or none of that.
Okay.
Like we was just literally friends. Like she would literally come to my mom's house and just kick it with me, or we'd go out to the movies, go out to dinner. Like we never did anything.
Wow.
And then she got drunk one night. She got drunk.
Persistence.
You're just waiting for the opportunity to arrive.
She never said yes on that night. I told y'all this story. She never said yes on that night either.
She was like,
hey, but we're married now, okay? 19 years later, all right?
Ends justify the means, yeah, seriously. I don't think you can do that anymore. The waited out strategy.
You don't think so? No, you can, man. You just got to have other women.
Last man standing strategy.
You have other women. Like that one you want,
yeah,
you cool. But as long as you know you got something on the side to get your rocks off, you good.
That's a great point.
I wish I had that strategy.
But there is an interesting question, right? Which is like, yes, no means no, but if no meant no forever, none of us would be here.
Of course, especially because now, well, as always, the society expectations for women are you have to say no like X number of times, otherwise you're some kind of whore.
Yeah.
So we're almost imposing this idea of no on them, or we are.
Yeah, definitely are. Because this is even a double standard for us as guys.
We got to respect no less now, is what you're saying.
I did not say that. For the legal record. No, I think it's a problem because we kind of go, and I can't speak for all guys, but for me, there's this crap going on in my head that also comes from societal programming that's like, I got to try hard and she's got to say no a few times because if you try not that hard and she says yes, you're like, oh, man, now am I disappointed now? Even though I got what I wanted right away? I don't know. It's a weird feeling, right?
Okay, that's right. So girls think guys want to work for it.
And they're kind of right. But it's kind of shitty that is true. It shouldn't be true.
Yeah.
It should. In theory, we should be like, "Hi, you're really attractive. Yeah, you're really attractive too. Let's bang it out, and then we'll see if we're good friends and if that's gonna work." But if we do that, like, I'm a skanky dude for hitting it, and she's a whore for giving it up.
That's such a misconception.
It's such bullshit, though, right?
I tell women all the time, it don't matter if you make a guy wait a year or a day. If he wants to be with you and y'all meant to be together, y'all gonna be together. Period. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Like, there's no science to this shit.
That being said, if you're not meant to be and you do fuck after the first day, it's incredibly apparent.
You know right away. That's one reason why I would advocate for that strategy if in a perfect world we could get over that. Because think about it. You're like, oh, this person's attractive? Great. You don't have to go out 5 times or 3 times or whatever the arbitrary bullshit rule is. You can just get that out of the way and then you get up after that and you're like, we don't need to go have pizza. That was not the business.
I had
This is not going to get any better.
Who said that to me? We fucked the first night. And I asked her later in the relationship, I was like, did you feel bad about us fucking the first night? She goes, this was so dope. She goes, sex is very important to me.
Mm-hmm.
If our sex was bad, I didn't want to fall in love with you and then later find out that, you know what I mean? Now I'm in love with this guy who can't fuck me right.
By the way, that's the least. That should be the least of your concerns, the sex. And what I mean by that is you might fuck a dude and the dick is good, but he might be a horrible person. You know what I'm saying? He might be a horrible person. You're not going to stick with him. You're going to be happy you got that dick. Like, yeah, he did fuck the shit out of me that night, but he's just not relationship worthy. You know what I'm saying? What you really want from a man is a great relationship, a great guy, a guy that's going to treat you right, blah, blah, blah. Whether or not you give me the pussy on the first night is not going to stop me from being that.
That's funny.
You know what I'm saying?
That good dick comment reminds me, who's that lady on public access who's like, if she's on the penis, she's going to be poisoned by the penis.
Not
you know
Robin
what I'm talking
Bird?
about? Oh, this
I know
woman.
who you're talking about.
She's she
I don't know why
funny.
I know how you talking about because I got real cable. But
shit went viral a million years ago.
What's her name?
She is, and what's weird is she talks about it and she says penis, which is weird, but she's right about everything that she says on the show. It's about how women go crazy for getting the dick and then like they can't get over the fact that they're being mistreated because they keep going back for the penis.
Do people expect you to be like super charming because of the podcast?
Yeah, it's the worst set of expectations ever because if I do anything not perfectly, they're like, art of real charming, asshole. And I'm like, I set the bar way too high.
What made you want to do that though? Like
was not thinking straight. Honestly, the original name for the show, I can't even remember what it was, but it was so terrible. It had
the charming, not really.
It had the word charisma in it, and my mom goes, "That name sucks. You need to just not use that." And I was like, "Why does it suck?" She goes, "Try to spell it." And I did, and then she's like, "Good, okay, you have a law school education. You got it right on like the second try." Imagine telling that to somebody. They got to type that into the website. This is my mom, who's like 70, and she goes, "Just change it to the Art of Charm or something. You can always change it later." And I was like, "All right, cool, temporary name." That was 11 years ago.
So you used to be a lawyer.
Yeah, I used to be a lawyer here in New York.
The most fake charming people on the planet.
Exactly.
They have to be.
They have to be. That's where I got the idea. Finance. I did mortgage-backed securities and financial law on Wall Street.
So you fucked us.
I'm part of the problem, man.
Wow.
The original problem.
Who did you work for? Country?
Thatcher, Profit, and Wood. No longer in existence. Nobody.
Is that why you got out of it? Did you cut your hair and become a podcaster? Go as some form of like.
Yeah. Well, what
hiding from somebody?
What happened was, when I was a kid, I kind of coasted through school, just didn't have to work that hard. Probably like you guys, like just, you could teach yourself some of the stuff on the test, whatever. Yeah. Then when I got to college, everybody was as smart or smarter than me, but they were all getting drunk, so I could just outwork everybody. Right. And then when I got to Wall Street, everybody was smart and everybody was a hard-ass worker, so I was like, I'm going to get fired. This is called imposter syndrome, where you think like I shouldn't be here. They're going to figure out I'm a fraud.
Donald Trump's going through that right now.
Any high performer or would be high performer goes through that. And I got hired by this dude named Dave. He was from Brooklyn. He had a tan. I was like, a white dude with a tan who's a lawyer from Brooklyn. Like, what the hell? This is weird. This guy must know somebody. It must know something that the rest of us don't. And he asked me. Ask me any questions. I was supposed to be your mentor. Like, let's get this shit over with. Yeah. And I said,
How you know he wasn't trying to fuck you?
What's that?
How you know he wasn't trying to fuck you?
Yeah, I don't know.
White guy with a tan.
I'm serious.
Yeah. He must want the cheeks. That's how long Sean's going to be hanging with my pale ass. If he sees anybody that's white with
a tan? Oh, he's gay.
Yeah. Schultz don't got a tan. This guy got to be different.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I guess at the time it could have been, but he had to check off that box that said like mentored shitty associate at Thatcher, Profit, and Wood. And I said, how come you're a partner but you're never in the office? Like, I don't understand what you do. Do you work from home all the time? And he goes, actually, I bring in a ton of clients because I go golfing, I do jiu-jitsu, I go on cruises and stuff, and I can meet these investment bankers and bring in deals. And I thought, wait, if I learn how to do this, the networking thing, the sort of sales thing with the clients, I might not get fired. I might actually make partner. And his job looked a hell of a lot better than the jobs of the partners that were in there working at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday. So I was like, I got to work on this. And I took all these classes like Dale Carnegie and stuff like that, which I thought like, this is what people are going to learn to network. And it turned out to be kind of like level 1/ bullshit. Not totally bullshit, but totally not complex enough. And what I mean by that is a lot of these classes were like, taught by dudes in sweater vests working at the YMCA or the Learning Annex. And I thought like, okay, if somebody doesn't like you, it's not because you don't have a firm handshake. It's not because you have bad eye contact. There's other stuff going on here. There's real shit happening here that people are not talking about because they either don't know or it's not PC to be like, oh, people don't like you because you lean in and you have shitty breath.
Yeah, because you spit on people when you fucking talk.
Yeah, you spit on people when you talk or whatever. Some of it has to do with, it's never what people aren't doing. It's always what you're doing that you don't know about that people won't tell you.
Yes.
So, does that make sense?
Yes. Listen, man, whenever
he will tell you.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you. Because my thing is, when I see somebody have an issue with a person, the first thing I'm saying is, what did they do?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, well, I don't like the way they, do their papers. I'm like, what did they really do? Like, what really bothered you? Like, nobody ever wants to tell you what really bothers them about somebody.
Except you.
Yeah, well, I like to get to it.
And I'm with you. You brought it up on a podcast before. Like, it alleviates anxiety. Like, if somebody has some shit in their teeth, I can't not tell you. Because it bothers me. It's not about you. I'm not telling you for you.
Yeah.
If you want to have this conversation with me anymore, get your fucking poppy seed out of your teeth.
Yeah. It's distracting.
Son, I'm not going to do it.
I can't think about nothing else.
I'm not going to do it. Learn how to eat salad or get a toothpick. Like, you know what's going on in this situation.
And so think about that at like a macro level, right? You know people who are like, I really want Charlamagne and Andrew to like me, so they try real hard, and you're like, ugh. It just makes your skin crawl, and you want them to just get out of the studio.
Feels disingenuous.
And it's problematic because you know when somebody's trying to do that, they want something from you, and you just can't wait to get them the fuck out. That is something that nobody can tell you. You guys are famous for telling people this. There's a reason that you guys are known for this, is because it's so rare that most people won't do it.
People don't like to tell you about themselves. I'll give you an example. I'm in the radio station this morning. We're in the studio. Our board op Easy. He's got a reputation for fucking up. You know what I'm saying? So we're just trying to get him to get better, you know? So I'm listening to the radio. Kendrick Lamar Humble comes on. Then all of a sudden, Kendrick Lamar Humble comes on again. So I look at Easy. He looks at me. And I go, why did the song just replay? He goes, I don't know. Like, it just happened. I go, Easy. Why did the song just replay? And I'm always on about stop bullshitting me. He goes, well, I accidentally hit the button. So why the fuck would you say nothing happened? I heard the song replay. Shit just doesn't happen on the radio. So why not just tell me from the beginning that you accidentally hit the button? And then we can get to the root of probably trying to solve this problem and keeping it from happening in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, he must have been, maybe he was raised in a way where like every mistake was punished, so he just had to deny everything. But he hasn't outgrown that.
Ooh.
Yo, so much is our relationship with our family and
Oh,
parents.
yeah, for
like
sure.
It's hardwired from this young age.
Because I read the book, I read your book, of course, and like a lot of the patterns. Yeah, it's good. It's
Black
great,
privilege.
actually.
Opportunity comes to those who create it. New York Times bestseller.
That's right.
Yes.
For good reason. And there's a lot of patterns in there that you got rid of, and some of the lessons that you write about in the book are you figuring out like, oh shit, this pattern is not working for me. I'm going to do something different. Oh, that worked. Write that down somewhere and put it in a book in 20 years. And
so
that's
many
what we got.
people are afraid to change their mind. We were just talking about that earlier. Like you're so stuck on what you think you know and the things you've learned throughout your life that when you're presented with new information, you're afraid to change your mind because it challenges everything that you've ever believed in.
Exactly. And people are afraid that if they change their mind, it invalidates everything they've done in the past. Instead of going, oh, it's okay to be wrong about stuff and level up, they go, shit, I got to double down on all my mistakes because then if I admit a mistake, it makes all this look bad. So I'm going to double down on it and then I look right. And it's like, what? It's like saying this investment I made was terrible. I'm going to double it so that I don't look wrong.
Question,
you think it's
real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hasn't that worked for Trump?
Look, I'm not going to argue
with
that.
you. Well, I agree with you. Admission to being wrong is something admirable for me and makes me trust you even more. I go, oh shit, he's willing to admit that he's wrong. I trust him when he says he's right. But Trump, whatever happens, doubles down.
Yes.
You said grab some pussy. Damn right I said grab some pussy. Some locker room talk. That's what men do in a locker room. What, you're not a man? You don't grab pussy?
You said that?
No, but that's the.
It was kind of the vibe.
It's
kind of the vibe,
right? The energy is like he was basically saying, "Yo, if you haven't said this, you just haven't been in a locker room. What are you, some beta male bitch? You know?" And then guys were like, "It's kind of true. We gotta do that kind of shit." Why is that successful for him?
For him, actually, if you look at the record, because I thought about this too, not in the exact same words or for the exact same example, but I did think about this with Trump, especially recently. And if you look at the things that he's said, actually, he does deny a lot of stuff. His pattern is say something, get caught for it, or never admit that it happened. Get caught for it, deny it, and then goes, yeah, so what? So it actually kind of rebounds off the denial. If the denial doesn't work, which it doesn't because he's on fucking tape saying something, then he goes to, yeah, so what? I said it. And then you're supposed to forget that he lied about denying it. Yeah.
Something you said earlier, and it ties in with the Trump thing. I feel like the reason people, like how you said, like you make one bad investment and then people double down on that. I think the reason people are afraid of that is because we live in this world where we destroy catalogs. We destroy resumes immediately. Like you can't be allowed to make one mistake. If you make one mistake, then everything you've ever done in your whole career, people just burn down.
Oh, man.
Past and moving forward into the future.
What he's trying to say is if you rape one set of 50 women, now the Cosby Show isn't worth watching.
That's right, yeah.
Charlamagne's furious about this.
It's like Shaq made Shazam or whatever that movie was called. It wasn't called Shazam, though. That's an app. What is the movie called?
It was Shazam.
Michael Jordan was so good that people used Space Jam against him.
Yeah.
They can't even bring in his basketball resume, so they're like, he did Space Jam.
And that movie made a ton of money. Made a ton of money.
I thought Space Jam was good. Some people act like Space Jam was trash. I don't think it was trash.
They're upset that a guy who's never acted before isn't good at acting? This is the dumbest shit.
That's the world we live in, though. People pick the minute thing and try to expand that and make that your reality. Like, no, that's not my reality. I just fucked up once.
You're not the greatest baseball player ever, too.
So?
No shit.
Yeah. It's tough.
It's like, what? You got to be literally the best at everything.
I saw that yesterday, even with the ESPYs. When Peyton Manning was, he made the little jab at Kevin Durant.
That was funny.
Not to Kevin. And now I'm looking at Kevin like, Kev, You did what you wanted to do. You did what made you happy.
Yeah.
And it worked. You got a fucking ring. Why are you sitting there with the salty face on?
First of all, since when do men not upgrade? It's like you start with your wife, and then you get famous, you get a new wife. And what he needed to do...
This guy, man.
No, I'm being serious.
I'm not upgrading.
Wait,
all right?
say what?
I'm not upgrading.
Say that now.
I'm keeping my old model.
Listen.
All right?
She loves she loves it when you call her
Hey, I
old
might
model.
give you a new car to keep in the third garage.
Dominicans make cars now? You might get a boat made out of a mango tree. I don't know about a car.
Donald Trump is interesting too because I was talking to Angela Rye. Salute to Angela Rye. She got her new podcast on Loudspeaker Networks out
Yeah,
now.
I'm the first guest.
Well, actually, Maxine Waters is the first guest, but
Oh, did I get canceled?
I think so.
Oh.
It's out
That's
now.
cold. Cold to find out in real time.
But she had a good
Find out in real
take,
time.
right? She had a good take. It was about how when you're got such an ego, like we know Donald Trump has, and you're a narcissist, like we know Donald Trump is, right? Every day he has to wake up and prove he's supposed to be in a seat that he knows he's not supposed to be in.
Yeah, that's got to feel
Imposter syndrome.
The
imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
manifesting itself in the worst way, and we're all like, okay, we get it.
And think about it; it's right there in the verbiage, right? Like he goes constantly. So how was this? How do you like California? I love California. I have a lot of homes in California, a lot of successful businesses in California. All he's saying is, "Hey guys, I'm great," right?
Yeah, he's
No,
approval seeking.
I take it a step further, and this is what Angela Rice said. That's why he won't stop talking about the election. That's why he keeps talking about the fucking popular vote.
Validate
Yeah,
his
and,
victory.
and
Yeah.
illegal voters, and like that's why Hillary had more popular vote. All that bullshit, because he's trying to validate the fact that he's in a position he knows he's not supposed to be in.
Like he said,
Approval seeking, yeah. And guys do that. I mean, people do this in relationships and stuff too, and it has the opposite of the intended effect, right? It's like what we were talking about before. When somebody comes in here and tries really hard to get you guys to like them, how often does that work? Never. It never works. And even people who do that in real time, they know probably that it's not working. They just don't have another strategy, so they do it. And
So
guys
what
do
is
this.
the other strategy?
The other strategy, I mean, it's
Be your
easier said
fucking
than
self.
done. Be authentic. It's easier said than done.
So check it. What if somebody's authentic self is approval seeking, right? What if somebody's very insecure? I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there who are very insecure.
From childhood, like you said earlier.
Yeah, from childhood.
From childhood situations. What do you say to those people who don't even know that there's a different gear you can switch in?
They don't even know, right? No, I get what you mean. So this goes back to some of the stuff we're talking about at the Art of Charm and on the podcast, the Art of Charm podcast, which is the authenticity.
Plug your shit, boy.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I just pulled best-selling author of you know what's funny? Autopilot, straight up. No apologies. What am I trying to say sorry for? That's the whole point.
Is it Art of Charm on Loudspeakers Network?
It's not.
Do you guys have a good network?
Yeah,
They
it's
treat you
okay.
right?
I don't know. I'm open to suggestions.
Yeah, we
Hey,
might have
throw
a
me a
little
business card.
conversation with
No,
Throw me a
no,
card.
no. We're loaded. Chris is good.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying we could have a nice little conversation with Loudspeakers.
Chris might be doing a deal already, and this might be the cross promo that we don't even know about.
Interception.
So all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Jordan came out of
You
nowhere.
bringing it-
I thought so too, but now I'm thinking about it.
Oh, Chris is deep in your head.
I wasn't allowed to say anything till right now.
All right, well, go ahead. What you say?
I don't even know, but probably something along the lines of,
do you
yes.
do?
So the authenticity thing, along with the approval-seeking behavior, let's separate for a minute being yourself with all of the with authenticity, right? Because I think people being themselves, it comes with all the baggage that you had growing up, all of the approval-seeking stuff that you had as a kid. That is maybe who you are right now, but authenticity comes from what we would call the subtractive process. So when you grow up, you start adding shit to your personality because you think who you are right then is not enough. So you're like, all right, well, normal me likes computers and internet and hip hop or whatever. And you're like, but people don't like me because I'm getting bullied in school or whatever. So you start adding things to your personality. Those are the things that you guys see, that we see when people are trying hard to get us to like them, that we don't like. It's those additional bullshit things that they add on where they're like, I'm going to be funny too. And it's like, just
So
stop.
I would like you without the add-on.
Yeah, you would like that. And that's the authentic self there. But who you are being right now, whatever that means, that's with all of the baggage and the add-ons and the bells and whistles that are just bullshit that you put there to basically protect your ego. That
I
facade.
like your natural hair, boo. You don't need a weave. Don't add them extensions, boo.
So getting to the authentic self, How do you separate that? How do you even know what it is?
The subtractive process is tough. So it comes
removing the defense mechanism.
Removing the defense mechanisms. Yeah. So you know when somebody is pretending to be strong and they're like taking up way too much space. They got their arm over here and they're like, "Yo, what's up, bro?"
Yeah.
And it's like this fake facade. And you know when somebody is truly strong in a way. I think that the truest strength, especially from men, is like vulnerability, where they just go, "Look, I don't know how to do this," or "I feel bad," and you know that your girl goes crazy for this when you're like, "Sometimes I just don't know. I feel like maybe I'm not cut out for my work," or something. And they're like, "Oh my God, he's opening up to me," right? That there's some true strength in there that is so rare because you got to put the shield down, you know, to do that. You'll never do it. Nah,
I do it all the time, man. And the reason I do it all the time is because it's the easiest thing in the world to do. It's too hard to front, man. Like sometimes I don't feel. I'm like, yo, I don't have it in me, bro. Like, I got anxiety. I need to go see a therapist.
Yeah.
Like, you got to just get it out. Like, just say it.
Don't you ever worry that like your girl will see you as? Yeah, don't you? Maybe the imposter syndrome also occurs with the woman, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like, let's say you're walking down the street and some guy, some huge motherfucker, says something to your girl, right? Just, damn girl, I
scary.
See you, you're big. Like, do you really in that moment go, "Hey, you know, you got to handle this one on your own"?
No. That's not what I'm saying. So, in that situation, you got to do what you got to do. Obviously, you're going to protect your wife or your girlfriend.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do something stupid, and she probably doesn't want you to do that anyway because she knows that's not good for either of you. But when you get home, you can be like, "Man, that was pretty scary. That guy was scary." She's going to respect that, most likely, I should say, going to respect that more than you being like, "Man, I would have fucked that guy up. He's lucky you kept walking," because she's like, "Nah, you would have gotten your ass stomped through the subway grate into little pieces dripping down onto the C train."
I mean, it just depends. Like, I'm coming from Anguilla last week and over Sunday, and we're coming through customs on the way back to America. And listen, the most disrespectful Africans I've met in my motherfucking life. Like, these motherfuckers, man. They just came through and cut everybody. Like 3 guys, right? And I'm like, yo. You can't cut everybody in the fucking line.
Did you say that?
Yes.
Of course you did. Why am I even asking?
And yo, it was 3 of them. I got me and my family, but it's just the respect factor. Like, yo, you can't do this. And they was like, like, no, motherfucker. Like, no, that's not how this works. Like, you can't just cut the line. Like, you're cutting the old people. And so they was like, okay. So then they stopped. No, the back of the line is that way. And so then one guy goes, "Well, can I get in front of you?" I'm like, no! We just had this conversation. But the reason I had to say that to them, because I couldn't live with myself. This ain't got nothing to do with the family. I couldn't live with myself if I let them be that disrespectful. Because maybe they're new here. That's not how we do things in America.
But that's an ego thing too, isn't it?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm with that all the time.
I think so, probably. But I love that you did that because it is something that a lot of us wish we could do, right? Like there's been a time for you, me, and for sure for you as well. The reason you do this now is because there were many times when you were a kid and you're like, okay. And I know I grew up like being like, okay. Now though, when someone's like, "Move, I'm going to cut in front of you," I'm like, fuck that. And by the way, my angry voice is always Charlemagne's regular voice in my head. It's like, I just try to channel that because it sounds amazing.
What you're saying is interesting because my daughter's 9 now, and she's like super feisty. She will talk back, like not in a disrespectful way. She just knows.
Sticks up for herself.
She sticks up for herself. I mean, it don't matter if she's playing cards. It don't matter who she's talking to. I will not crush that. You know what I'm saying?
Let it go. Let it go.
You got to because I know that's going to constantly be her, and you shouldn't let people play you. And a lot of times she's not even getting played. She just feels like she's being disrespected.
Because she's
you know
9.
what I'm saying? So she'll just like kind of not lash out in a bad way. Just like, no, that's not the way it's supposed to be. Yo, it should be like this, like whatever. So that's just how I always want her to constantly be. Like, yo, these guys cut in line.
Yeah, but you
and
don't want.
And it had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
You cut. It's like 20 other people behind her. Like, you can't do that, bro.
You're saying what everybody else is thinking and nobody else has the guts to say.
But okay. And this is something I talk with my therapist about a lot, which is the idea of karma police. Like, I act like I am the karma police.
Oh, do you do that?
All the fucking time. If I see these situations or a guy's cursing somebody out or a guy's mean to a waiter or a guy's mean to like the service person.
It's hard to watch that shit.
Yeah, it's hard to watch that shit. But on some level, or a guy does something I find disrespectful, like cutting in line, on some level, isn't that me trying to validate my ego? Like, me personalizing this. Like, that guy didn't look at me and go, "This guy's a bitch, I could walk in front of him." He probably just tried to get somewhere. It might not be personal, but I'm taking, "Oh, you think you could just walk in front of me? In my country?"
Word up.
Like, isn't that insecurity?
It can be. It can also, it can be driven by insecurity. I don't know if that is insecurity itself. It can be driven by that, but
I can see that.
It can
like,
also.
You think I'm a bitch?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What, you trying to say I'm a bitch?
Why you ain't cut in front of this pro? Don't just walk in front of me and my family.
You just start humming the national anthem. Oh, say, can you see? Oh shit, Charlamagne gonna fight him.
Yeah.
Charlamagne gonna fight him.
How you feeling? You heard Trump about to do the Africans, right? Okay.
But I think having
Ebola, back in the line.
having a sense of justice though is not always insecurity though.
You saw how we took out Joseph Kony, right?
That's real. Having a sense of justice is not always insecurity.
That's
real.
That's right.
Which is Batman.
What's that? Sorry,
Which is Batman.
Yeah, it
Which
can
is
be.
vigilante justice.
Yeah, sometimes I think. Look, in that case, it was probably part like, "Oh, you're not going to do that to me," but some part of you was probably thinking about everybody else in line, and you're like, "What? No one's going to say anything? Come on!"
Because I couldn't believe it. Because first I looked to see if he was getting. Because sometimes you get in the line with somebody you know.
Yeah, sure.
Like it's three of y'all and a couple women that's with y'all, and y'all just cut the line in front of everybody. No, that's not how this goes. Work.
Yeah, that would piss me off too. But of course, if somebody goes up and joins their wife and their daughter, you're like, nah, all
cool.
Right. Whatever.
Yeah, man. I mean, the biggest thing for me to avoid dealing with insecurities and low self-esteem, and I learned this at a young age, is to truly be yourself. Like sometimes, and you probably get this, Andrew, you're a comedian. You might be around some people and don't want to crack jokes. I don't even want to talk. You just there. And I am so comfortable with not putting on a show. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck where I'm at. If you see me somewhere and you want to take a picture, cool. But you might have a conversation with me and you might get one-word answers and you might be like, damn, it's not the Charlamagne I know. Like, I don't really feel like talking right now.
How long did it take you to get there? Because when you first started getting fame, I'm sure you felt you needed to justify it in some way.
No, not really. I think this is something I kind of like adopted in middle school, really.
You don't worry about disappointing your fans at all? Like,
I do, a lot.
You do? Okay.
That's why
I worry about that all the time.
But disappointment for me is not having a conversation with them in that moment. Disappointment for me is like, I walk out the gym, I'm on the phone, 2 girls want a picture, I'm kind of still on the phone, so I'm not brushing them off, but I'm talking on the phone, not really paying attention. I just gave them a nice wave, whatever. But then I know they want a picture, so when I'm done with the call, I go back in the gym. When I could have left the gym and been home by now.
That's really nice.
I sit in the parking lot, be on the phone, and go in the gym just to take a picture because it's just on my mind, bothering me. Because they hear us talk all the fucking time.
Yeah.
There's no need, like, having a personal conversation with me isn't going to change anything. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that I acknowledged them, took a picture, said hi, boom. We keep it moving.
I love doing that stuff. You know who's cool about that? I saw Manny Pacquiao. He was on the phone. He goes, hold on. And he posed for the photo with me and 3 people. And his entourage guys were like taking the pictures and they were like, cool. And other people tried to jump in and they were like, no, get out. You get your own. Took a picture with those other people, got in his Ferrari or whatever, and took off. And I was like, he could have just been like, no, get the hell out of here. He was on the phone.
Yeah.
He was like, hold on. In the picture on the phone. That's a guy who cares about his fans, 100%.
Yeah, no, that's true.
But I worry about that all the time, and I'm no Manny Pacquiao, that's for damn sure. So I worry about that stuff too, because the last thing you want is something going around on the internet about how you're a dick. That's like a celebrity nightmare, I think.
Yeah, but even that right there, that's like...
It's approval seeking in some way.
Approval seeking, right? And you don't want to disappoint these people. Like, if you truly felt you were good enough in your own skin, right, or all of us felt that way, we wouldn't care what was on the internet. We wouldn't care about these things. You wouldn't care. But we do. What if I'm really out of that?
What if I'm really a dick, though?
Say what?
Like, what if I'm really a dick? Like, what if a person really is a dick and the persona they give off is like, oh, I'm not a dick and I'm really a nice person, this and that. Wouldn't you rather know the real person? That's why
No,
not me.
Really?
It's like when you meet Johnny Depp and he ain't Pirates of the Caribbean.
By the way,
you know what I mean? Like, he having normal conversations.
By the way, that's the only way you would recognize Johnny Depp at this point. If Johnny Depp walked by you and he wasn't in that goddamn costume,
you better have some boots on. Don't walk up to me in some fucking Teva sandals.
I'm telling you, like,
dreads and a hat. Otherwise, who
I
are
need
you?
it all. I need a sword.
Like, I read an article the other day. And it was like Johnny Depp, doesn't like. He keeps his private plane. Doesn't want to go through the airport, even though he's going broke. But he doesn't want to get rid of his plane because he feels like he can't fly public because he'll get mobbed. I'm like, bro, if you ain't in that fucking Pirates of the Caribbean costume, nobody's gonna give a fuck, Johnny.
No,
I'm letting you know that right now. Now you're not even gonna pay him no attention.
Zero. You could wear a pair of those shades. That's a disguise enough. Nobody would have a clue. If you could be Johnny Depp right now, I have no idea.
I've seen the best of them be discreet. The people that I worship. I've been in the airport and seen this guy just sitting off by himself, and I peep at him like, hey, look kind of familiar. And I look again, I'm like, oh shit, that's Chris Rock. You know what I'm saying? So Johnny can be discreet. All right?
Yeah.
You know who I respect?
Ego.
I really respect the people who don't give a fuck. I respect Seinfeld on some level.
Word up.
Granted,
Yes.
Yes. Granted, Seinfeld is on the spectrum of autism. He said that.
Is he really?
Yeah, he said that about himself. Maybe it's a joke, but maybe like
What?
a little. Yeah. He's like, I'm on the spectrum. It's a little Asperger's-y, but the way that he
I always want
curved.
to taste one of those.
Say what?
I always want to taste an Asperger.
Fuck it. This motherfucker. New chain of restaurants in Monk's Corner, South Carolina.
Can I get cheese on that Asperger?
Careful what you wish for.
That's why you're still married. Yeah, that's the key to marriage. Is if your wife got a nice ass burger. Anyway, this motherfucker curved the shit. What's her face wanted a hug, and he was like, "No, thank you." Kesha wanted a hug, and he was like, "No, thank you." I would have given a hug. I would.
Yeah.
When I was in a relationship, girls would sometimes ask for like if they could take a picture with me giving them a kiss or them giving me a kiss like that, and I would be bullied into taking this picture. I did not want to do it.
I've been thinking about that
I've
a lot
been bullied
lately,
into it because I don't want to, like you said, disappoint.
Yeah.
A lot of my anxiety comes from other people's shit. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
Like trying to help other people and appease other people and please.
You mean
other
like your
people.
family and your close friends?
Everybody.
Or random people?
Everybody.
You don't want to say no. You don't want to hurt
Exactly.
someone's feelings. Yeah.
So I respect that Seinfeld cares about him first. If he does not want to hug Kesha, he does not have to hug Kesha. There is no rule book that says he has to hug Kesha. And I guarantee you, he sleeps so well at night. He's not thinking about the fact that, oh, I didn't give Kesha a hug. I'm a fucked up person. He's thinking, I did what's best for me.
Bro, he said it when I did the shows at Gotham. I headline Gotham once a year. He came with George Wallace and opened up randomly. Obviously, I didn't ask him to come.
Sure.
He just randomly showed up. I was so
He opened
blown
up
away.
for Andrew's show.
He opened up
Nice.
for me. It was it was a big day for him. And basically, he said to me, he's the great thing about being 60, you just don't have to give a fuck anymore. Someone goes, hey, we're gonna go take a walk in the park. You want to come? Yeah. No. I don't want to come. Just say no to shit you don't want to do and not feel bad. Now, if somebody invites me to a baby shower, it's like, fuck, I got to go to this baby shower. Fuck. Or somebody
Not me.
No.
They be like, Charlamagne, you coming? No. And I'm talking about with everything from radio station events, concerts. No, y'all know I'm not coming.
So you're approaching the Seinfeld level of not giving a fuck.
Yes. Okay.
But you still will take pictures with people. You still give enough fuck to
because
take pictures.
that's the least I can do for them.
Yeah,
because
those
they
are the-
don't have to support me. But if like I've never been in a position where I didn't want to take the picture, and even if I have, I still would take it. But it's certain things I'm just not doing because they don't make me happy. I'm not about to be uncomfortable for you. My anxiety's bad enough as it is.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm not about to go somewhere that's gonna make my anxiety even fucking worse just because you wanted me here.
Yeah.
I'm cool.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a question. I don't know if you'll have an answer for it, but it's something I've been ruminating about. How insecurity can warp your perception of an event.
Yeah, of course. It can warp your perception of your whole life.
Yeah.
Well, so
He's like,
usually
oh, this
does.
party whack. No, you whack, motherfucker.
Yeah. For real. Bro, no, dude, I swear to God, this will happen sometimes for the podcast or even like a basketball game. Last week, for whatever reason, I was feeling a little insecure. I went and played this basketball game. I didn't really score that much. We ended up winning, but I felt even during the game, I couldn't get out of my head. I was feeling, man, I'm playing like fucking shit. Like, what's going on? I watched the basketball game later because there's this cool app where you get to watch the games. And I'm like, oh, I didn't play that bad. I was just in a state that made me feel like I was playing like shit.
Absolutely, yeah.
Next game, I'm feeling super confident, and I was like, man, I fucking killed it this game. And I rewatched that shit. I was like, you ain't really kill it that much, bro. You had a bunch of turnovers. It wasn't that good.
Yeah.
My state is deciding how I feel about an event.
Yeah.
How can you trust your feelings if they're completely dependent on your security level?
Yeah, you absolutely cannot trust your own perception of any type of event or anything. So that's
crazy.
That's kind of what the philosophy is behind just deciding to be in a positive state, because it's not going to affect anything that necessarily in the outcome. Worst case scenario, you having a more improved emotional state helps you perform better, but it's certainly not reflective of how you're doing in the moment. It never is.
Listen, let's pay these bills, man. I want to come back. I want to ask you something about social media, because social media is fucking up a lot of our perceptions too.
Real quick before you pay the bills. So what you're saying is, hey, you're going to score the same amount of points in this basketball game whether you feel good or whether you feel like shit. You might as well feel good.
Yeah, and in many cases, feeling good and getting yourself in a positive emotional state will help you do better, but it will never it will never really matter. It won't give you an accurate perception of how you're doing, but it may actually help your performance.
How do you get in a
think people can
positive
perform depressed? I don't think you can perform depressed.
I think they perform usually worse depressed, for sure.
Yeah.
However, depressed people usually have a more accurate, this is what's so fucked. People who are depressed usually have a more accurate reflection of how they're performing, which is really unfortunate because it's like the worse off you get, the more accurate your perception of how you're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, because they're aware that they're
more
fucking up?
realistic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's more
Exactly.
realistic, but that's not necessarily a good thing, especially if your life is in the toilet.
So how do you get into that positive mindset? Then we'll get to this, Bill.
Man, that's a whole thing. But I would say, man, that's really complicated. But there's definitely some things that can be done about that, like changing your physiology, which is one thing, and I can give an example of that probably later if you guys
Can you
want.
give an example of another word that means physiology?
Yeah,
that we
sure,
understand?
sure. Your nonverbal communication, body language is a good place to start with that.
Okay.
So say that you want to deliver a good first impression. We know that those are made not through what you say, but through what you look like. And if you want to prove it to yourself, go walk outside and you make judgments of people all the time. Scary, fat, attractive, cool, dork, whatever. That happens in your head all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So what we need to do is have good nonverbal communication so that people make positive judgments of us. And the way that we do that, we have a drill called the doorway drill. And I can go through that in a sec if you want me
Hell
to.
yeah, go through it.
So what that is essentially like upright, positive, open body language. So chin up, shoulders up, chest up. You don't have to like Superman it. They just look stupid when you do that. But if you create that upright, open, positive body language, have a smile on your face, that's great. But the problem is you can't remember to do that at all times, right? It's not, you can't just be like, I'm going to do this now. It doesn't work. So we take, the reason it's called the doorway drill is you take those little Post-it notes, put them at eye level in the door frame, and then every time you walk through a doorway, you straighten up and you have that open, positive, confident body language, and that creates a habit.
It's like a Pavlovian
It's
reaction.
like a Pavlovian reaction that every time you're walking through a doorway, which is what usually happens when you enter a room, you create that habit. By doing this in your house and your office, you'll start to do it everywhere, ideally, after like 2 months. And then when people see you walk in and you're open, upright, positive, they go, oh, this guy's confident or cool or relaxed.
That's true. Somebody told me that a long time ago about posture. That's why, like, when I walk, I always try to be straight up.
Yeah.
Have my chin up. And that's why I think the phones are fucking us up now because we're all, like, we're either like this or we're like this.
Yeah.
Like, our body is not in tune with the universe the way that it needs to be. We're almost like antennas. You know what I'm saying? You know how back in the day when you have a TV, you have a TV and the TV, the antennas on the back of the TV, like you gotta have the antenna a certain way. Like our antennas are off. Like we're not receiving what we're supposed to be receiving. I don't know.
Well, it's a way that people definitely judge you by the way that you look right away, no matter what. Like you're giving off a certain vibe right now with the shirt, the glasses, the way you're sitting. I didn't think about that. I like it though. I think it looks good. Those shades are awesome.
I'm living life, guys. I also got a sty, but I'm living life. You know what I mean?
Let's pay this bill.
Got it.
All right, don't forget this week's episode is brought to you by Talkspace, the online therapy company. We all need to take better care of ourselves, and our mental health is no exception. You keep hearing me talk about anxiety, man. I'm about to go start seeing the therapist soon. I might hit up Talkspace because I am cheap. All right, Talkspace makes it easy to connect with an experienced and licensed therapist, handpicked just for you for as little as $32 a week. Using Talkspace, you can send your therapist text, audio, and video messages whenever you want, or even do a live chat. You want to vent about work or family or talk through something that's been on your mind? No problem. Your therapist is ready to help.
Absolutely. So to sign up and learn more, you go to Talkspace.com/idiots. And as a special offer for our listeners, you can use the coupon IDIOTS to get $30 off your first month and show your support for this podcast. That's the code IDIOTS and Talkspace.com/idiots. Talkspace, therapy for how we live today. I recommend Talkspace because the barrier to entry is very small, right? A lot of times finding a therapist, you have to find one that's part of your, whatever your health care is, and you have to actually go to their office. It can be kind of nerve-wracking to meet this person you don't even know. And this is something you do right on your phone. You can even text them. Like I was using the Talkspace. So you could text this therapist if you feel more comfortable being vulnerable through text, which since we're texting people all the time, that might be the way to go. You can do it. You can do a video chat. There are many different ways you can do it. If you don't have time to cut out 2 hours of your day to go to an office and then go back to work, whatever it is, you can do that over a lunch break. I think it's a very efficient way to at least embark on therapy. I can't come from a family that's been very supportive of therapy and going to therapy. We're all basically fucked up in our heads, essentially. So I'm very supportive of the idea of it. But if it's something that's nerve-wracking to you, something that might be embarrassing to you, this is a good way to do it because it's completely private. It's on your phone. So I honestly would check it out. It's incredibly affordable. And if you like it, let us know. I'd really like to know your experience about it. It's something I've been doing and I've found it helpful for me, especially on the go type of stuff. But let us know. Tweet us, send us some emails, let you know your experience with Talkspace.
Word. Now, let's talk about social media a little bit, Jordan. Now, how much stock should we put in social media? Because I heard you talk about perception and how sometimes you can't see you can't really see who you are, the perception of who you are. You know what I'm saying? We all have
Definitely.
But social media, everybody got a perception of you.
Yeah, of course, everybody's got a perception of you, and you're managing it, right? So you just have to kind of realize that everybody else is trying to manage your perception of them as well, right? And that's a huge problem because you're comparing your blooper reel, right? Like your basketball game performance the other day. Mm-hmm. You're comparing your blooper reel to their managed highlight reel that has all the negative shit cut out and all the amazing stuff put through an Instagram filter and put online.
We're living in imposter syndrome. This is the generation of it, right? Like if you already have imposter syndrome, think about it. You know, from if you already have it just from having some success, imagine if you have imposter syndrome from having success at a job, right? You've at least done things at that job to get the success.
Right.
On social media, you don't look like that.
You haven't done
lips
shit.
ain't that thick.
Yeah.
You haven't done shit. You put a light somewhere. You Photoshop these things out. That is truly imposter syndrome.
Right.
If you're playing in the NBA, you average 30. You motherfucking average 30. And nobody could take that away from you.
And that's why it's hard to clap back at these people on social media because you don't know shit about them.
Yeah.
It's false.
You know what I'm saying? Like they know everything about us. Well, no, like you said, they know everything about us, but they focus on our blooper reel, so they try to point at that all the time. But we don't know shit about them.
So true. What is it that people get out of building someone up and then taking them down? Why is it there's so much more interest in bringing someone down?
You know what it is? There's probably multiple reasons. In my opinion, though, one of the major reasons is because it's easier for me to bring you down than to work on myself and the things that I perceive as a problem and build myself up. So if I'm doing comedy, which I'm not, and you are, and you were successful, right, and I'm not, then it's easier for me to go, you know what though, fuck him, because that guy, his dad was friends with somebody, so he's not even funny. He just had a hookup, and he's always been like that, and he's a fucking dick, and his dick is tiny. Fuck him, right? It's easier for me to say that than to take a highlighter and circle around my name and go, this is a guy who didn't do the work that Andrew did. I didn't do the work. I don't have the talent. I didn't travel to New York and make something out of myself. That makes me feel bad about myself because that's what the scoreboard says. So it's easier for me to give rationalizations and bullshit reasons why you are successful and I am not, because otherwise there's cognitive dissonance that makes me feel like shit. And I don't want that. I want to feel good at your expense.
Yeah.
It's easier.
It's easier.
The path of least resistance.
It's easier than doing the work, man.
Yeah, it's the law of energy too. I gotta say it all the time. Like, energy is never lost or destroyed. It's merely transferred from one party to the next. So if you're a miserable motherfucker, you can't wait to pass your miserableness off to somebody who you think is having a great day.
Yeah, outsource it. Yeah. If I can bring you down
your misery.
Yeah, if I can bring you guys down a peg and it makes me feel better about where my show's at or something like that, I'll take that chance any day. Not me personally anymore, but I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who write to you guys that are like, "Fuck, this podcast sucks. Everybody listen to my podcast that has 12 downloads and 8 of them are my mom." There's plenty of people doing that.
That's why people get so excited when you reply to them.
Yeah.
Or like I hate when people.
Their energy completely changes.
Oh, they love it. I hate
just kidding, bro. I love you guys. I fucking love you guys.
Oh, damn, you ain't got nothing better to do than reply to motherfuckers on social media?
That's terrible.
You don't got nothing better to do? You tweeted me. I thought this was how this shit works. Like, I can't tweet you back. And they act like it takes so much energy to send a tweet back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Get a life, Charlemagne.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Oh, Charlemagne searching his name. It's my fucking name. It's my name. What is wrong with searching my name? Like, it's the weirdest shit in the world, bro.
Haters search other people's names.
Yes.
That's right. Like, you should have a Google alert for your name. You should not have a Google alert for somebody else's name.
Yeah, that's when you try. Yeah, that's when you're stalking.
Yeah,
that's stalking. All right, I think that's. What, anything else?
Well, I'm just curious so you've had these interviews with all these successful people.
Yeah.
Do you have just like not your 10-minute set, but your 10 jewels or whatever it is that you've compiled from all this from all these conversations.
10 pieces of information, or like 10 shows that 10, I like.
You know, but I'm talking about like these 10 bars. You know, like, you know, Charlamagne's got his bars. I might have my bars, but like, what are the bars that you put together? Well, it is important.
Like how my book got 8 principles that I live by.
Oh yeah,
like what are the 8 things, like 10 to 5 things, like 3 things that are really stand out to you from these conversations?
There's so much stuff that I love, but there's one set of tools that I love teaching, and it's going to be hard to do it in 5 minutes on a podcast.
There's no rule for time here.
But there's a set of personality archetypes that we call the value scale, and it is fucking magical for reading people and finding out what their needs are emotionally. So we have one that's like, it's a scale that goes like supplicative, combative, and competitive and cooperative, all the way up. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, if you will, right? Supplicative is like the doormat guy, or girl for that matter. And the supplicative is like, I want people to like me. So they do things for people. They drive people. This is the guy proverbially who picks a girl up from the airport 80 times and is like, one day she's going to realize.
Builds her furniture.
You know, he's the IKEA assembler guy, helps her move. Right?
Allen wrenches.
One day she's going to realize how the man she's been waiting for has been here the whole time. The rom-com guy, it's not gonna work. He's bitter about it. Then one day he gets drunk, right, and it's like, fuck you, you're such a whore. You're always fucking Jimmy and never me, right? He has that emotional vomiting episode. That's the number 6. He gets walked on at work, he gets walked on in his life. 7 would be the combative guy. That's the guy we were talking about before, who's like, you know what? Your comedy's not even funny, and your shirt sucks, so fuck you. He's trying to bring you down a peg.
We call those haters.
Haters. He's bringing you down a peg because he's trying to make himself feel better. He's probably been that other guy who was supplicating before and got sick of getting walked on, and he decided, my way out is to be a total dick, the opposite of who I've been being before, and that's going to bring me up a notch by bringing everybody down a peg.
Same insecurity, just a different way of behaving.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then competitive is where most of us find ourselves being a lot of the time, where it's like, you might be like, look, my show's killing it in iTunes, or I just got a new deal, or I got a new comedy special, or my book came out and is crushing it on the bestseller list.
8 times on the New York Times bestseller list.
Congratulations! Yeah. We're gonna bring it back.
8 weeks in a row.
We're gonna make it 20 weeks in a row after the Art of Charm episode airs. Art of Charm podcast episode airs. The competitive one is like, your book is out, and I'm like, oh man, 8 weeks. Mine's only been up there for 6. All right, well, shit. I got to figure out another area of my life where I'm better than Charlamagne, or I'm going to start to feel bad about myself. But he's not being a dick to you. He's just comparing himself to you in a way that's unhealthy. If you keep doing it, it's unhealthy. But for some of us, it motivates us to keep going, to write a good book, to do a good show. So it's not completely unhealthy. That's the competitive mindset. It's where a lot of us live. But above that
that's where I definitely live. But this motherfucker's so successful at everything, it drives me crazy.
Yeah, it drives you crazy, right? The top level is what I would say is cooperative, and this is sort of aspirational. This is where we want to be. When we're in the zone, we find ourselves being here a lot as men, as humans. And cooperative is great because you're up so high that you find that there's nothing to be gained by ripping anybody else down, and you like where you are in your life so much that you're able to bring other people up. Like, you're thinking, this is the guy who, instead of the competitive mode, it's like, Charlamagne got a new car. Shit. Well, oh man. Well, my car has leather seats and his only have fabric seats. So, I guess I'm still better there. He's the guy who goes, man, you got a new car? You deserve it. You look good in that car. You worked fucking hard, man. Your book is killing it. I'm glad. I'm happy for you. And he's genuinely happy for you. And then you find out later he's got like a McLaren, but he didn't say shit about it because he doesn't need to rain on your parade.
It's weird.
He's confident. He doesn't need the value.
Doesn't need the value.
Yeah.
I'm listening to you, and I'm like a little competitive in a lot of what you just said. Cooperative.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. Absolutely, because you're healthy most of the time.
I think the competitive is negative because
it can be, but it doesn't have to be.
Because I like certain things will pop in your head, like immediately, be like, why him or why her or this? You know what I mean? But you got to dismiss that and know that your blessing is coming too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to know, like, you're going to get your chance, you're going to get your opportunity. So the best thing to do is be cooperative and just big people up.
Yes.
Big people up. Put that energy out there because your time is going to come and you're going to want that same energy reciprocated.
Absolutely. And when you look at these archetypes and you can read where people are, like if you know that somebody's supplicating and they're like, please like me, all you have to do is behave positively towards them and they will love you. The competitive or the combative guy who's like, fuck you, bring you down a peg. You just, instead of being like, why are you so angry? You hate your life, which is really the truth. You go like, hey man, sorry, I didn't mean to offend you or something. Like, you can just really play into it and they're like, oh shit. And they feel bad, or they just go, oh, I got what I needed. He brought down a peg. Now I can like him because we're on equal footing, right? That's the way they then feel. Cooperative people, you don't have to worry about that at all because they're going to bring you up naturally. And competitive people, you can always give them props and they go, oh, I won that one. Good. I like winning. And then they like you, right? So you just play into what their emotional needs are by using those archetypes, and you will win every single time.
So the haters, what do you do with the haters? What was the
haters? The haters are there's one of two things, right? The combative ones, you can either instead of allowing them to bring you down a peg and being like, well, fuck you too, you just go like, oh man, I some of your criticism is valid, and a lot of times they're just like, oh crap, they're completely disarmed. Or you can bring them up before they've had a chance to do so. Like they might say like, your comedy sucks, and you might be like, I actually caught your set the other day and I really liked it. You're really funny, dude. You're really hilarious. And you can almost treat their being shitty to you as like a joke, and they will often play right into that because they're like, oh crap, you're giving me your approval? I changed my mind. I actually really like you. Of course, I was just kidding. Your comedy doesn't suck, Andrew. I love you, bro. They love you.
Comedians are so like it's.
They're
so
like
funny.
that.
Comedians will be the most judgmental, right? The second you compliment or someone compliments their set, they're like, "That guy's a really nice guy."
I love that guy.
He told me, yeah, he's good. And his jokes are good, really, when you think about it. There's merit to his joke. And I imagine there's other people in entertainment who have that same.
I've never had a conversation with a comedian where they're as enthused about another comic as I am.
Depends.
Like, if I be like, yo, such and such is mad funny, yeah, they'd be like, yeah.
Depends if he's dead.
Doing anything.
If he's dead,
if
then
he's
we
dead.
give it up.
yeah.
You know what I mean? The motherfucker
Richard
died.
Pryor, hilarious.
Pryor was
The best.
amazing.
The best ever.
Yeah. Someone like, yo, Chris Rock is the best man. Yeah, he ain't Pryor.
No, they give it up to Rock and Chappelle.
Yeah,
those might be the probably the only two in Lewis.
I mean, Louis, but yeah.
Like I'm talking
absolutely.
about like the new, like if I be like Hassan Minaj is mad funny, or Andrew Schultz is mad funny, or Tiffany Haddish is mad funny, I promise you, other comedians will find a way to knock them down. Tonight.
Sure. Yeah.
It never fails.
Wildly insecure, incredibly combative, and tons of the imposter syndrome. They're just trying to seek validation. I mean, think about the career being a comedian. We're just seeking validation from strangers every single night,
and facing rejection 90% of the time.
Absolutely,
not a good look.
It's
tough.
Oh yeah, I can totally see why comedians kill themselves all the time. It's a bad statement, but I like the idea of having different strategies to deal with different people. I think I think a lot of times we only have one strategy of dealing with people, and that doesn't work. And then we go, oh, I guess these people don't like me, or I guess these people hate me, whatever.
Yeah.
But you treat dogs differently than you treat cats. You treat different
Absolutely.
people differently.
I love that.
And once you figure out, like you said, these different personality types, wow, like, have you noticed in your life interactions have been way different?
Of course, yeah. You can read people by their body. When you get really good at this, they don't even have to talk. You can look at their body language and be like, combative, right? Because combative will be like the guy who's like looks like he's looking at everybody, be a judgy, taking up too much space, overcompensating. Competitive is a little bit less of that, but also a lot of taking up too much space, trying to be like an alpha guy or whatever, talking over people, stuff like that. Supplicative, they make themselves really small. They sit like this with their shoulders hunched over, or maybe they're closed, or they're like this. They make themselves small. And cooperative people, like normal folks, they look really natural and authentic because they're not really thinking about. There's not really any sort of weird, bad programming that's going to cause their body language to do something weird. Depending on the situation. If they're normal, cooperative person and you put them on stage next to you and they're like, oh shit, there's 1,000 people looking at me, they do this because they're going, uh-oh, I'm being judged a lot right now. They're not used to it. That's normal human behavior.
Can you be all those things at once?
Usually we are. Every single human goes through this spectrum. We just want to minimize our time either being supplicative and asking for approval because it lands us in bad places. Certainly don't want to be combative because that's what it's called, being an asshole. Nobody likes that. Yeah. And cooperative, the cooperative one, the top level, is always a great place to be, but it's tough because sometimes we're in that competitive level right below it where we're like, shit, I'm jealous that Andrew just got a Netflix special. Like, that just makes me feel like shit. But I realize that I'm just being competitive. I should be happy for him. He's my friend. This is a good win for us all. I'm not going to live there. I'm going to go back up to cooperative and retweet that shit.
I think that's the best way to be, man.
What do you think? What do you think we can do to become more cooperative? Have that
Just do it.
unwavering. Yeah, there's one thing is just do it and maybe fake it till you make it. But like that unwavering confidence is something I admire in people. You know, it's just what gets you there? What gets you to not feel confident after you've been validated, but rather just feel it constantly?
I think whenever you feel competitive, you should go to cooperative. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you can, yeah.
Like, as soon as you see something and you're like, damn, that upsets me that it's happening, like, that's when you should big it up.
Yeah, especially as soon as you become aware of yourself slipping down the ladder, just go, oh, I'm being competitive, I'm being supplicative, I'm being whatever. And then just go, what would somebody do if they didn't feel jealous or if they didn't feel like they needed to get other people's approval? What would they do? What would I do if I was your literally like your brother or something like that, or I had no interest in seeing you go down and I know it's my own ego just playing with me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd probably retweet your Netflix thing, or I'd share the link out. I'd tell you how great it was. I'd tell you deserve your success, and then do that. And the more you build those habits and the more you take those actions of being like, you know, I could have been jealous that you wrote a book that's really good, instead of being like, I didn't like this book because this guy swears too much or some bullshit thing in my Goodreads review. I could be like, actually, I want to interview him and I want to spread the message around because it's good and I know that. So rather than feeling shitty about it, I make the choice to feel good about it and then go the extra mile and help out. And that, your behavior, your mind will always seek to rationalize your behavior. If you do something shitty, you'll be like, well, you know, she deserved to have her windshield broken because she was late like 3 times. Yeah, right. You know, you've done that. So if you help someone out and you do that and you're a good person to them, you rationalize, you know what? They deserve. The reason I'm nice to this person is because he's a good guy.
Cognitive dissonance kicks in a positive way.
Exactly. Kicks in a positive way. Exactly.
There was that, I don't know if it was Ben Franklin or Alexander Hamilton. There was something like where if it was somebody he had an enemy, what he would do is ask to borrow a book.
Yes, that was Benjamin Franklin.
It was Franklin, right? Yeah. So he'd say you and I are enemies. I go, hey man, do you think I could borrow that book of yours? When you gave me the book, you have a conflict of action and feeling. Your feeling is I hate this guy, but the action is kindness. It's friendship. And cognitive dissonance makes your actions and feelings match. And in this circumstance, you're going, well, I gave him a book. I guess I might like him.
I must like the guy. Yeah. It's called the Benjamin Franklin effect, actually.
Exactly.
Dale Carnegie wrote about that and how to win friends and influence people. That's where that's from.
That's why girls like us after we fucked them. Because it's like, I didn't like him, but I fucked him.
That and chemicals.
I guess I like him.
Chemicals plus the Benjamin Franklin effect. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, until reality sets in and you're like, oh, he's a fucking dickhead with some good dick.
He ruined my book.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's all about the penis.
That's it. That's it. His name is Jordan Harbinger. He's got a podcast called The Art of Charm. If you have not subscribed to it yet, you should immediately. Jordan, thank you for talking to us, man. Where can they find you at?
The Art of Charm podcast, since you're already listening to a podcast, or you can just go to theartofcharm.com if you really like websites. But look, you're already listening to a show. Go where you're listening to this show, search for The Art of Charm, and you'll find us.
That is a fact.
Absolutely.
As always.
Well, we also have to thank Bevel, for supporting this week's episode.
We insert that later.
Bevel is, but on the YouTube, it's hard to insert, so we just want to make sure we get it in there. Bevel is the first and only shaving system designed for coarse, curly hair and sensitive skin. It's dermatologist approved.
You give Bevel free YouTube ads?
Not free YouTube ads, but we put all the ads in, and that counts to our listeners, subscribers.
Does it?
Of course. Counts to our overall listeners, baby. Come on now. You want checks, don't you?
Yeah,
shit,
it works.
All right, it's dermatologist approved and proven to prevent and reduce razor bumps, discoloration, and irritation. The Bevel razor uses a single blade which cuts hair above the skin, not beneath, so you can avoid those painful ingrown hairs. It's the smartest shave, Charlemagne. I'll keep on reading.
It's the smartest shave. Yeah, keep reading.
I mean, your first kit comes with everything you need to get started. The Bevel razor and brush, as well as priming oil, shave cream, and a restoring balm, and as many blades as you'll need until your next kit arrives. 9 out of 10 customers continue to come back because they see results, a clean shave, and that leaves skin smooth and reduces razor bumps. I mean, that's a beautiful thing, man.
Absolutely.
You got to get the razor. I've been doing my Bevel razor. I'm looking smooth. I got that nice little after cream, nice little cooling effect. They should sell the after cream by itself.
They don't?
Can you buy just the after cream as well? You can't. It's a whole package. I think we need to get some of these the specific things that they make and get the accessories. Make the accessories accessible. I'm gonna have to talk to Tristan because that cooling balm is beautiful. I just like the feeling of it.
Tell him send you some.
All right, Tristan, send us some. All right, Sean, you want to wrap it up?
Yes, as always, if you listen to this podcast, you think we're smart, you think we're intelligent, you think we're brilliant, you're absolutely right. If you listen to this podcast and you think we're just a couple